Hello, everybody. We are back. Fates United. Our internet's fixed. I'm not sick anymore. I think we'll get back to it. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for your patience and just bearing with me in the kind of like breaking up of weeks. We'll definitely be going strong through the end of December. We will be off the 30th between Christmas and New Year's, but a little announcement. DiceAntics will still be streaming a special one-shot with some special guests that you guys will be seeing here in the next couple of weeks as I tease them. So we're still trying to figure out the theme. It might be some sort of Christmas, New Year's sort of one-shot, but yeah, just wait and see. We'll have Rachel and Mark still one half of the Fates United team, and a couple special guests for the one session. So super excited to see that one, and hope you guys join us for that. Quick announcement. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't seen me before, watching me in one of the VODs, I am Bardicdice. I'll be the Dungeon Master tonight. This is my homebrew campaign that we've been doing for about a year now, which is pretty wild. This is one of the longest games I've ever run, so I'm super excited, and I love all my players. They're amazing. So bringing this love story and love child to life and bringing it to you on stream has been one of the best things of this past year, so thank you guys so much. If you're interested in following our channel, we do D&D twice a week. Here are my socials. That's my socials. You can follow them if you like. But we do the Wild Behind the Witchlight on Wednesday, the new Feywild campaign from D&D, which got pretty intense last night with 2 character deaths. So from sleeping. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see tonight. All our Fates Chosens are sleeping right now, so we'll see if they all wake up. Fingers crossed.
You all died. The end.
They all, end of the stream. But so Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you get your double duty of D&D back to back. On top of that, shout out to Marquee Gaming, our sister channel. They also stream, and you'll be hearing more about what they stream with Mark and Rachel, but we share a Discord with them. So if you're interested in joining our amazing community that uplifts each other, we have positivity and creators and art, and we talk about nerdy stuff and movies and everything. It's super fun time, and keeping that community going when we're offline. It's a wonderful space that you can also promote your own projects as well. So definitely, if you're interested in joining that, I think that's it. Quick shout out to literary_DM. He is in the chat if you want to post your YouTube channel, but we will be joining, three of us, myself, Rachel, and Mark, will be joining his Zelda-inspired Winds of Calamity game, starting super soon on his channel. Deely is doing the official promotion art for it as well, so super excited. I play a Tweely, and super excited to bring him to life. So he's in freak out mode right now, don't worry, that's fine. But that being said, quick announcements are over with me. I got nothing else to share. Why don't we go ahead and go through our little round table of introductions of our players, if you guys have anything going on, and the character you play.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Deely. I play Meikai. And I love her, but she's going through stuff. I stream weekly. I don't really have a schedule anymore. Weekly, yeah. I'm trying to be better. I have actually a good amount of art that I need to get done, so hopefully I'll do like a double December, and then every week there'll be 2. So that's what I'm aiming for. It's a lot of Zelda art too, for that game of Lits. So you should come and hang out because it's really fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good.
Perfect. Thank you, Dee. And over to our second amazing female character on the stream.
Hi, I'm Rachel/Pep, and I stream on Marquee Gaming. I do art Mondays at 3:30 CST, and now Saturdays. That's kind of been a thing. I don't know if I'm going to keep it up, but it's been really fun so far. So I've been doing Saturday nights at 7 CST. Sometimes I'll play video games that day too, but lately it's been a lot of art. I have a lot, like what Dee said. I think it's probably because it's December, all the stuff for the New Year's gonna come up, and then also Christmas presents, so it's a lot of art in the works right now. But so yeah, you can come watch me work then. It's always a lot of fun. And I play I almost said Meikai because Meikai's on the brain right now. I guess I don't play Meikai.
They're gonna fight over it. We'll have a big battle for
yeah, we're gonna
ownership.
battle over who plays Meikai now.
Meikai, what is you're acting so different tonight, huh?
Why aren't you talking? So I play Anais, a ranger cleric, and she is an elf, and she does not speak. The end. For now.
For now. Unless she doesn't wake up, then the end.
That's true, then it really is the end, so.
Awesome. And then heading down below to our second line, but first in my heart, the Rose. The one and the only.
Hello, I am John. I am Deely's husband, and I play Kahu Rangi, a Kalishtar fighter. Rune Knight. Exciting. It's great to be back. I feel like it's been forever. I feel like I miss everybody. But I'm going to try to be better, though. My wife is really good about getting on and chatting with people here and there. I'm going to try to be better about doing that from time to time. It's never been like my huge thing unless I'm like engaging in something else with people. But I'll see what I can do about that. But
Keeps you
I'm
mysterious.
excited to be here tonight. I don't know if it's that or if it's just I just don't think about it sometimes.
Oh, that's fair. Thanks. Go join our Discord, unless you're John, where you don't think about it.
What? That's not what I meant.
You're bullying him on front of everyone.
I just joked.
I was just meaning it like, I feel like I go to work and all kinds of stuff's happening all the time. And I'm like, go. And I get home and I just want to be like, shut down. And then Dealey's really good about like, hey, let's make sure we're still doing stuff with people. That's why she's a great wife to have. No one's gonna steal her. The people who know who I'm saying that to know who I'm saying that to.
I love it. Amazing.
But I'm excited to be here. Glad that everyone else can make it as well. It's been a while. I'm obviously talking way too much because I haven't been on for so long. I just keep going about.
How do we do this? It's fine. It's cool. This is all we do.
How do you even wrap up at this point in time? Maybe I just hit the mute button eventually, and then it's Mark's turn. I don't know what.
The turning down the volume. Yep. And that's the one and only Kahuranji. Amazing. But last but not least, heading down into the corner, the one and the only, the long-haired friend.
Hello, I am Mark of Marky Gaming as well. So Rachel and myself share that channel. Yeah, you can come hang out with us on Sundays if you want for Beacons Aurora, where Mike plays a character there and Rachel plays a character there. And we have Rachel's sister also. It's fun, 2 p.m. CST. And here, I play Zachary, an ASMR sorcerer / bard. And yeah, he's young but growing up, so that's where he's at.
Perfect. I am so excited. I've missed our players and our characters so much. I'm excited to get back into it. But first, the one and the only, the Arcane Anthems, has given us a wonderful intro, so let's get started. Tonight's game of Fates United.
Pull on threads of fate, strings of time, metal clash as they climb. Champions of the sky, sun, moon, ocean, ally. Seek the path where darkness hides, corrupting all the good inside. They will travel the hard way, igniting light through the untamed. Wilderness won't disguise the elements sent to destroy the fragile weave of destiny. Just one of the many evils sent to break the world. Protect them as legend unfolds. Pull on threads of fate, strings of time, metal clash as they climb. Champions of the sky, sun, moon, ocean, ally. Seek the path where darkness hides. Bring light to where evil abides. Come on, roll the dice. As heroes take the fight.
Get back into Fates United, episode 40. Not Nightmares, it's actually Vanali. But I didn't change. Whoops, I'll get to that later. Don't worry, Nightmares was last time. As we recap what happened, Sundavir visited our Chosens. Sundavir being, announcing himself to be possibly connected to the affinities and the Chosens more so than originally thought. Our four leaving Solisterum en route to Vanali, both to catch up with Anir, which is also one of the representatives that joined them at the Solisterum school in the beginning, while also tracking down some of Zachary's family. They've been separated before, but hoping to check in on them and making sure they're doing okay. Upon their travels, being watched over on the cliffside, we join our old man, weathered, seemingly a little weaker from the elements lately. Longer hair, a gaunt skin, and he's looking out over the timeline changing again. It seems to reverse from the city of Vanali, a large storm on the horizon, as it reverses into a clear sunny sky, snow on the ground, as he kind of looks over and peers a little shorter in between, right on the border of Gravnica. My dear Chosens, though it is difficult, you will find enemies or resistance along the way. Hope you will bring the beacons of hope every step you take. And going into the tavern right on the border. Kahu had an interesting interaction both with the bartender and some of the patrons there, as it was late as they got in. You guys met up with a familiar friend, someone in Zachary's backstory, and start there. But after your quick meeting, you guys all went to bed. So, why don't we go ahead and start the morning off with wake-up rolls, as you guys had a decent amount of sleep and rest for those who attempted to sleep.
Natural 20.
Natural to one day. Sad girl is sad.
14.
16.
17.
Nice. Okay. Makai, you wake up literally seconds before the rooster crows, signaling the beginning of the sun. You can see as you wake up in this tavern, you kind of like peek out. You can already see a lot of people that are in this town already taking. There's half of them that are switching out the guards from the little kind of like tent barracks that they've created to the guard stands at the bridge, and others grabbing their tools and backpacks and walking towards the mountains. They all kind of look like they have helmets on, like miners. But you can start smelling the smell of food and everything in the tavern as you wake up. Is there anything you want to do?
I think I'll just send a prayer to the moon lady. I keep forgetting her name, Lune.
Sure. But give me a...
Make I didn't forget her name.
Give me a d20 roll.
15.
15. What is your prayer?
I'm just praying that the day can go good, and for Carr and the funeral and his family.
As you do that, you can look up, and just as the sun is rising over one cliff, you can still see the half moon setting on the other side, and it's a dim lit orange. But you feel that comfort and that connection with it. You don't hear anything this time, but almost as if you could, the feeling you get when you hear a nice tune and a music and song, and that you connect with it, you kind of get that same feeling, an uplifting comfort feeling when you pray to Lune.
Cool.
Perfect. So you staying in your room?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm waiting for everybody else, so I'm just gonna be listening, and if there's any doors open, I'll peek my head out. But wait, aren't
The girls are
Anais and
sharing
I in
room.
the same room?
Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
So I'll just kind of
Nice is still
wait
sleeping.
for Anais. Yeah.
Standing over her bed. I'm just kidding.
Are you awake yet? Just no, respectfully.
Perfect. Kaho, you're next up. Just you kind of wake up as the rooster sounds, and you kind of hear activity outside. As the working man's town is starting to wake up, and activity at the guard shack.
I'm in a room with Zach, is that correct? Or are we separate rooms?
I think you guys got separate ones, right?
Separate.
Okay. Then I'm going to use the free space and free time to do some morning stretches and exercises and kind of get ready for the day, get all cleaned up. And after I get all of that taken care of, I'll step outside and see if anyone else seems as though they're ready. And if not, I might start knocking doors.
Perfect. Yeah, you have definitely a moment of solitude and silence as you wake up. The frost on the window of the dew has frozen over in the chill. You guys can feel the temperature has dropped today, especially in kind of this new locale. It was already starting to get a little bit colder. You feel like winter is set in here, and it feels like a winter morning. Not to depress anybody, from seasonal.
Mark, look at his face.
However, speaking of which, Zachary, a cool, crisp, beautiful winter breeze cracks in through the window and wakes you up. You can hear Kahu moving around and do stretching in his room.
I will just get ready and maybe go flip through the notebook a little bit just to see if I can catch anything new.
Zachary, are you awake? I wanted to send you a quick message. You hear Sasha's voice. Your mother went missing. We just found out about it. Your father's been taken into custody. I'm really sorry. I'm here for you if you need anything.
Zach will. I don't know. Like, how long is there like a limit on how long a pause can happen before the spell to fizzle?
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna say in this instance no.
Okay. I was worried about that. Can you watch my house for clues?
Once. You do feel the magic. You feel like it connected though. You do anything else?
I feel like after that happens, he just kind of puts away the notebook and just sits and stares out the window.
You guys, I didn't kill a character from waking up. I just killed their soul. So, and then heading over to Anais. Unfortunately,
Just a quick clarification.
Just quick clarification. You know, this is Thursday. We don't kill people this one right away. Except Trinket. I didn't know Trinket fell over. My bad. Anais. You sleep in a little bit, but the rising sun breaks through the kind of frosted glass panes in this tavern. And you were probably about to, you know, turn over and go back to sleep, but you heard Meikai shuffle, kind of in like impatience of like seeing you wake up and just, you know, not trying to say anything before, but now sees you stirring. She's already up.
Okay. Excuse me. So yeah, I'll probably just like set up, and her hair is just like super puffy, like everywhere.
Puffy hair princess.
Puffy hair princess. I missed you, girl.
I love her.
I was calling
mean-
it the other day. For
I mean,
context.
Meikai's mother helped, you know, fashion it down with a few braids, so unless you took them out.
Well, yeah, probably. Because it's been like a day or two of travel.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Meikai, your friend, doesn't appreciate fashion, huh?
Kicked off the little marshmallow things. Caps.
I will probably get ready and like wave to Meikai and then sign Nightmares Tonight.
No. Just regular sleep.
Me too.
That's better than nothing, I suppose. I think Kahu's awake. Unless something else is doing I don't know. I hear his feet though.
We should
Clearly.
probably get out of here
Clearly, Kahu.
pretty soon anyway. It's not like
Yeah.
we're, you know, wanted that much. And she just like, without even any other explanation, she just does something, and then she's like that blonde kid again that she keeps disguising herself
yeah.
as.
What's the
That's-
blonde girl's name?
Yeah.
That's really good magic to have.
She signs. That one assassin didn't have the worst idea ever. I figured I'd steal the idea.
That's good. I like it. It might come in handy for trying to get into places. I don't have magic like that, So I'm glad that you do.
As long as it works that I don't talk.
It's true. Maybe you can always be like chewing something, or you can disguise yourself. So if you open up your mouth, there's like no tongue, and then people understand a little bit better.
That's actually not the worst idea.
I've thought about these.
More than me, apparently.
The roots of switching characters has begun.
So, yeah, let's get going. I'm sure Zach is up already. He's always up early, I feel. I'm usually the last one to sleep, so I'm surprised that I was up before you.
Yeah.
I also had a hard time sleeping, so.
It's been weird lately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Yes.
Morning.
Yes.
Kids are good. I'm not drinking, so everything's fine. And I see here break Harris's voice in your head.
Oh, I was like, who's this?
Yeah, it's great. Meikai's mother is redecorating. So that's been fun. Curious if you're fine with me taking over your house, actually. Just need a little more space, maybe. But everything's safe here, it's fine. Druids are keeping us.
What was that, Mark?
Your house was like destroyed by fire.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, it's still, I mean, it needs to be cleaned up, but it's still, you know, livable in. You guys walked through it. It's just been...
The walls are intact.
Yeah, the walls
I
are
had
intact.
low standards for a house.
How I pictured it was like all the furniture and like the walling has been burned, but like the frame and the structure of it's still there. It just needs to be cleaned up and repurposed.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's definitely like a good like upstairs like quarter of it that's unlivable, but you guys could board that up and
Yeah. Yeah, so she just responds, okay, good on no drinking. And like there's just kind of a pause for a second, and then she goes, I mean, if you want to use the house, you can. I don't mind, but if you do, you have to promise me you see the others every day. Like you get out of the house. Maybe it'd be better to stay together though. You know, because it's dangerous. That's all you get. It's a little meandering.
Daedra, no, oh, there's more. Okay. Right, it's almost like the second message is like overlapped him listening to you as you were repeating. It's like, no, that's, I mean, it's not really that dangerous. I mean, it is a little dangerous, but like, you know, we have the druids, and it's a little crap. What was that? I'll be right there. I'm just collecting water. Great. All right. Well, you be safe. I'm glad you're okay, and I'll talk to you guys soon. He sounds a little depressed. Also, a little bit kind of like wish he had a drink, but he doesn't have it. Sort of.
He just goes, okay, have a good day. Love you.
That's all you hear. No response to that one.
So we come out of the room.
Oh, knock on Kahu's door. Kahu!
I'll go get Zach.
One moment. Almost done. And I'll finish up and leave.
Nice. There you go.
Sorry, I just got really distracted. Did anyone else notice the Discord mute button has a different sound now? Or is that just me?
Is it?
What the heck?
I don't have any sounds in it.
Yeah, I turned my sounds off. Yeah.
But no, it's different. It's like ding ding.
It's probably because
Oh.
it's Snow's giving. It probably has a a different sound for it, maybe.
Oh, I'm used to the same sound for the past like year and a half, 2 years. So to have a different sound was just like a out of body experience. I'm good now. Sorry.
Okay.
I go to Zach's
Yeah.
room to wake him up.
Yeah, you leave the room, and as she was knocking on Kahu's door, downstairs you just hear a ding ding. Oh, as sounds like breakfast has been created, and letting any of the guests know that it's available. But you get distracted, and then and you remember that you're knocking on Zachary's door.
Yeah, Zach will just come over and open the door. You ready to go? Okay. Let's go.
So how well are you faking it? Are you trying to fake it? Anything?
Oh, yeah.
For context?
He's definitely trying to put on a brave face.
Do I roll
How
again?
is that, sir?
Insight? Or is it passive insight?
I'd say on this one you can roll for it, because
I want to roll.
we are at the other door at the moment.
Yeah. When we go down the stairs.
Sure.
We're not seeing his immediate face at the moment.
Yeah.
So
That
I
is
rolled
true.
deception then, I guess.
On
For-
this one, why don't you give me your passive deception, and then
Passive deception?
Passive
It's not
deception
a-
versus an active
I'm always
roll.
lying.
because are you actively trying to hide it at this moment, or is it
Yes.
just
I
answering the
don't
door?
want them to know.
Okay, that's fair. I wasn't sure if it was just
Conceal,
more
don't
of a
feel.
reaction to her sort of thing.
Conceal, don't feel, glow boy.
I rolled and I got 20.
I think you won this one. Let's see. Yeah, I got a 10.
3.
I rolled really bad.
Nice, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's Zach. Sometimes he's, just a little quiet to himself.
Early in the morning, guys.
Yeah. It's only
Yeah.
night.
In the
tired.
morning.
Like, there's no reason for Kahu to be actively inciting Zach, so I have no reason why to.
I feel like Anais actively incites Zach every day.
Yeah, no,
that
I
they've
mean,
known each other.
You do it a lot more, so yeah, that
Me
makes a lot
too.
more sense.
Okay. Well, it seems like things are okay, so I just nod. And by the way, it is not even Anais. It's the blonde girl you saw yesterday. But
Okay.
Perfect. As you guys all kind of head downstairs, there is still a laid out body face first at the bottom of the stairs near the bar. Because if you guys remember, it's a small little tavern, so they got the upstairs with the rooms. As you come down, the door is right there, and it's like a U-shaped kind of bar where you could sit at. And in the middle of that U is just like a big cauldron that it seems that they kind of make like a daily stew that everyone kind of grabs a bowl and then heads out to work. There's really no one here anymore. They all seem to have... There's like one person kind of finishing up like bread and stew and then heading to work. Seems like everyone else has already kind of gotten into work. But you see kind of the big guy that you had talked to before, Kahu, cleaning up the dishes and just kind of gives you just a little bit of a nod as you come down. It's a little less hostile than before.
Are we lucky enough to have any extra stew left over?
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, pass you guys all 4 different bowls you can eat.
Nice.
Definitely do so.
Yep.
Now, if you guys want,
Okay, never mind. Rich, I didn't hear you, but
sorry, I was just saying at that Anais just kind of gives Gahu a look because I think that she was kind of pestering him about trying to talk to the guy the night before. It was kind of like,
knew you did that. But yeah, Meikai, if you want to make that roll now, you can, as you're kind of, if you feel like Meikai would be looking over at Zachary as he's kind of quietly eating.
No. Just
I
kidding.
swear
I was just looking at everybody.
my bowl to Kahu and eat crackers.
Well, you're not hungry, Zach.
I'm not a fan of stew.
he doesn't like meat.
Everybody loves my stew.
Oh.
I like some meat.
Oh,
Not all meat.
sorry.
Are you... It's your decision, but I would
I'll be fine.
encourage I'm just saying it's cold out there today. I'd encourage something keep you going for longer.
I'll be fine.
Inside that.
You want to keep your previous roll, or are you re-rolling, Mark?
I'm fine with going with what I got.
Growing boys need food. That's what Kahu thinks.
Nope, got an 18.
Close. Yeah, still again hard to tell, but you're used to him closing off and getting quiet. He's kind of returned to that. But doesn't seem out of the ordinary, and you can't really pick up on anything specific coming from it.
Well, if you're not gonna eat it, I'll be glad to have it because the stuff's delicious.
All yours.
Just hear it from the bartender as you deny his stew.
Alright.
Super.
Make sure I clean out the second bowl.
See, I ate it. Please don't be offended, sir.
You also get the idea of like he really just doesn't care that much. The bartender, he's more than happy to just see you guys out too. So
Probably was more than happy to eat food though.
you guys have some. There's plenty more, Kyle. You can eat until your stomach's delight. You guys can get seconds. You guys are the last patrons in here, and there's about a third left of the stew. You guys eat for the morning. Get ready. Is there anything else you guys want to do before you get back on to the?
Oh, I just want to keep doing what I did last night. Keep my head down, hood up, and
I rolled a 23 on my constitution, so I'm eating heartily.
dang.
Nice. I like it.
We're here an extra half an hour because of Kahu.
Pretty much. Everyone else is getting, the horses and the cart ready. He's just in there. I also noticed, I was looking at Mark, your video. Zachary's got like the hat right on his head there too. So it looks like he's wearing the hat in your background. Perfect. I love it. That's amazing.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. I see.
I looked over
Yeah,
like
the side.
Yeah, I was like, when was he wearing a hat? And then I was like, oh wait, that's not drawn.
Look at it go.
So cool. That's what was different about it. That's why we kept rolling for insight. Like, what's new here?
Why is he leaning it to the side like that? It's so weird. That's how Zakai starts. Perfect. Now you guys get onto the cart and kind of prepare on your way. And we'll get to that later. Perfect. Yeah. Mark, Zach, why don't you give me a D4 roll?
D4. 3.
3. As you guys start on your way out of kind of this muddy, kind of stoneworked border town, essentially, it doesn't take long as you guys find your way turning the corner away from the border and kind of returning back to the New Organian forest that serves as like the buffer between Vanali and the capital of New Organia. Your travels seem, again, pretty safe, but this morning a curling sort of winter cloud starts descending in from the mountains, and it gets quite brisk and cold and windy. Luckily no snow yet, but you can start seeing in the distance a bit of a cloud under carriage beginning. Janias, why don't you give me a d20 roll?
1.
1.
We're off to a strong start.
Super strong start.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of look into the clouds and everything, you don't quite get that same connection to your affinity as you're used to. Kind of always seeing that storm in the distance or kind of guiding your way. It seems like the clouds have covered it this time, and feels cold and isolating to you this time. Alright. But as you guys round the corner, takes a good chunk of the day. You stop just for a short rest and kind of rations, letting the horses rest kind of at lunchtime. And coming through, leaving the forest, you head down into a bit of a valley. As you start seeing the foothills kind of rolling upwards, forest on either side, it hits to a portion where the mountains, the tree line kind of stops, and the mountains start building up and up. And this is where there's a large mountain range that has a lot of snow caps on it. They call it the White Mountains back here because of that. As year round, it's cold enough and tall enough that the highest mountain year round has snow and ice on it. The quite desolate and like Antarctian sort of like area. I love creating words. But as you guys head through the valley, there's the mountains on either side. As you come down into it, off in the distance, you can see, and along all of your travels, the amount of people that you've been seeing has increased tenfold. It has gone from like a very solitude, like maybe you'll see 1 or 2 people in a day from like your travels from Solisterum, to now every half hour, you're seeing a cart of merchants or of travelers going back and forth on, horseback or sometimes riding through. You've seen airships now, 1 and 2 coming to and from. And off in the distance now, you see the city of Vanali. As have an image put up. Down in through the mountains on the outside is white marble walls that stand as like a guarding, almost sort of surrounding wall that connects into the mountains. Beautiful white marbles and different blues and golds on the trimming of the buildings behind. You can see circular domed buildings that lay out behind those walls. And what's interesting as you're coming down and, seeing this, is that in most of the other cities, there's kind of like the outside merchants area, but there's really none of that here. Everything's on the inside. And it seems that there's a ring of housing and storefronts and kind of like the normal hustle bustle on the first level, and then it goes to up the mountain a little bit to a second ring, and this seems to be more buildings that are seemingly bigger in stature. They don't seem like houses, more like academies or structures that house multiple rooms and things like that. And then going in a little bit further, as you guys come to the gates, you can look up, and curving around into the mountainside itself, carved into the back of it, with gold gates that open up through, you see a large tower with rotating levels. And in the large tower, coming down from each one, are 9 spiral towers as well. Serves as the 9 towers of Vanali. You guys bring up the cart, and there's actually about 5 or 6 carts in front of you. The gates are open, and they seem to be letting everyone in, but there are a few guards here, dressed in gold and white, and with like a blue on their cap, that just seem to be kind of marking everyone that's coming in, and kind of once you get a little closer, it sounds like they're asking their business in the town. You do see a few side entrances as well, but are you guys trying to go through the front, or? And I'm sorry, John, what were you saying?
Should we let Denier know that we're coming in today?
Yeah, you can send a message.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
He might have an idea of where best to enter as well.
So I will pull a sending stone. And hi, Nier. We're here to visit, and not sure if you have any advice about where to come in or meet you.
Fantastic. I've been hoping you guys would arrive. This is perfect. Hopefully you had safe travels. I can meet you at the gate, or better yet, if you let them know Why don't you have them meet me at the Modern Pegasus? You guys will be on my tab. That's all I
He
get.
wants us to meet at the Modern Pegasus.
This sounds fancy.
Nice, just the way she's thinking about the name. Like,
Do you know what the Pegasus is?
I feel like she'd know. It's like
From
she
stories,
reads
I
a
feel
lot.
like she would. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the stars.
I'd say
Of course
so,
you know what those
sure.
are.
In the stars.
Your dad would have definitely told you different legendary stories of what a Pegasus was.
I love it.
They're
I
not-
want Anais on a Pegasus now.
They're not anything that's like known to this world or anything, but they're very seen as like fairy tale stories. Similar to
Oh.
ours.
And
So
I
I wanted to be a Valkyrie of the Stormlord now. With that hair just like
she just signs, I was just thinking about how weird a modern Pegasus, what does that mean? What
maybe it's wearing like a hat or something.
That's it, yeah. Or bow tie.
New shoes. Yeah. Something like that.
Next, and the guard kind of waves now your cart forward. Are you guys headed to this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah,
guys
we're
looking
trying to
like?
sneak in.
Anais, are you disguised? Are you yourself?
No, I'll be myself for now.
Okay.
Because that only lasted an hour in the morning. So it's basically just to get out of the town.
Fair enough.
Hassle free.
Zachary, are you trying to hide any of your why am I trying to say Celeste?
ASMR?
Wow! The other game is bleeding in already. You know, Celestian imagery, or are you still prominently displaying it?
I mean, I would feel like I'm pretty bundled up looking, so I don't know if that would cover a lot of it, but...
Because I know before you also said you were trying to, like, do well as looking like a human, right? So are you...
I mean, I have experience looking like a human, so
Yeah.
if I...
On his
I mean,
resume.
I'm
I'm
not
just
trying to be
curious
like,
if you're
"Look at
actively
me,
doing it or
I'm
not.
ASMR."
Yeah.
I'm just bundled up right now and
Fair enough.
accepting as comes in because they don't look like a humans, so
Yeah.
it's kind of whatever at this
Like,
point.
at this point,
I
yeah.
take
Fair enough.
offense to that. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
And Kahu, are you bundled up? Or are you Kalishtar shirtless? This one?
I mean, it's cold enough that it's probably just my arm showing.
Still gotta show some skin, you know?
It's nice.
I feel like a nice vest on.
Spoken
It's
like a
clothed,
true
billowing.
Wisconsinite, can I just say? Like that sentence right there.
Well, I didn't want to, cover up that tattoo or anything, so,
It looks pretty neat there. You worked really hard.
It's just the beginning of winter, you know. It's just brisk.
I could still wear shorts.
Perfect. Yeah, so he kind of motions you forward. You do see again kind of these guards. They don't seem as militarized as much as the Gravnica ones. They do have weapons, but they're a little bit more just kind of like a city watch. But again, you kind of get that interesting look, kind of taking in the combination of people here. And again, you're far into human territory with the Great Divide separating Organia in two. So one just
Is
kind of
it
looks
like
toward.
disgust or is it like interest?
Give me insight rolls if you're interested.
Yeah.
You guys are getting looks. It's hard to tell right now. They're
Finally.
Wow,
They're
make
staying
that girl.
professional.
She's
15.
24.
Would you get 15?
15.
Okay. And the other
hold on.
8.
Hold on. I had to open up the app. 11.
11. All right. Unfortunately, Meikai, Kahu, you're not quite sure. You're used to these looks. You kind of begin to ignore them. The other two, you sense it's more of intrigue. It's less disgust, and you're Anais especially. The other one is flicking his eyes to a few of your foreheads as well. You kind of get the idea. Maybe it's more interest in being a chosen, less than the racial stuff.
Okay.
I said some of you, not all of you.
I will greet the guard then. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon. State your business for visiting Vanali.
We are here to visit with our friend Anir. We are from the Centaurium, which he has gone to, and maybe you are aware of that. He hopes to meet us at the Modern Pegasus.
Anais. All of you kind of see them share a glance. Anais, especially with your insight. There is now a shared look at when you drop Anir's name. Doesn't really seem a positive one either. You guys notice that both of them are lighter skinned in this element and with brown hair. Sort of a, again, with the watch that they wear, it's golden and blue is kind of what they're wearing as well. So you kind of take all of that in and kind of a weird interaction there, and they go, Anir, Santali? All right. I need all of your names then.
Can I assign to Zach? Can I assign to Zach? Like, does he have a bad reputation here or something? Not sure if that's okay to ask, but it might be good.
I'll just say, your mood seemed to change when I mentioned Anir's name. Is there an issue?
Just trying to get your business with him. That's all. So names.
Oh. My name's Zachary, and we're here because we met at the Centaurium.
Associates of Anir, then. All right. Zachary, last name?
Cottis.
Everyone's like
So first
scrambling for
time learning
notes.
names.
Like,
Write that down.
Dang it!
Anais, the other one seems a little on guard that you were like having side conversations when you were talking, but the one's just kind of talking to Zachary. Seems a little bit relaxed after talking to Zachary. Zachary has a good way of, interacting with a higher class of folk. So Zachary, you do feel him relaxing a little bit when you're speaking to him, and then he turns to you. Is anyone sitting on the cart as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Turns to you. And your name?
Mekai Mai.
Okay. Turns to you, Ka.
Rangi.
Last name?
Okay.
Don't know if it'll be very helpful to you, but too odd.
Very good. And you? And looks over to Anais.
Just look at some of the other ones.
There a problem?
This is Anais Solitrin. She doesn't speak, sorry. That's why she signed, so.
Right. Okay. Sure. Very well then. And how long is your stay?
I guess we'll have to see what benefit we can have here and knowledge we can learn and how long we are welcomed.
It's your first time here, isn't it?
Yes.
This is a magnificent looking city. This is beautiful, what you have here.
It is. We've worked for it. We've worked to keep the peace. So whatever you have involved with Santali's, keep it that way. We know who you are. We know who you're staying. You do stick out a little. But
Yeah.
I've always thought I blended it quite nicely.
one chuckles a little bit and then quickly goes like a professional again, as the other one is just kind of giving you a look, like trying to gauge on how much trouble you are or if you're just being social.
There's just a small smirk, like trying to be funny.
Yeah. He's also looking at your muscles too, like, I don't know if I can take you. Just again, look, we're keeping the peace. Don't get involved with anything that's out of your business. Most that come here have a reason to be here. So. Your names will be passed around to the watch. Otherwise, go on your way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. As you guys enter in, there are it's a very large city. It's on the scale of New Organia. The roads now here are graveled and stoneworked as it goes down different paths, and it's very clean here. The white walls and the beautiful architecture, you can see a level of evolution, as most towns kind of have like the normal wooden and not much out structure except for maybe like a few buildings. This one you can see like older style, like if you've ever been to Boston, right, where there's like older style history that's kind of built up around like larger buildings around it. There's an obviously evolution of growth and stuff here. As you're going through, you can see store shops of arcane items, of magitech. As you're looking through, you can see lanterns bright and light up this way that are ran by those little fire gems, almost kind of like an electrical system here that seems to go and light up every alley and stuff like that as well. The bustle of the town here is filled with merchants, filled with you can see carts of not quite on this main square. You're kind of like in the main area where most of the storefronts are, that the alleys and streetways kind of leaf off into more of like the housing and some of that stuff. But you can see different carts on the side paths heading up into past this area. Some of the larger buildings seem a little bit more warehouse in style. There's black smoke billowing out of a few of them, and you can see a lot of these materials seem to be coming in from Gravnica or other areas and seem to be brought here for manufacturing. There's an obviously explosion of technology and industrialization here that is something that most of you have not seen before. Oh.
Can I sign something to Zach as we're walking?
No, you cannot.
Well, just
Go ahead, for sure.
I like poke him.
Okay.
And then I sign, hey, we can talk to Anir about your brothers, right? To see if we can find some leads. Maybe he would know.
Let me handle that.
Yeah, well, we'll do we'll talk to him first. Is that part of the plan?
Potentially, we'll see where things go.
Are you worried about him now?
I just want to be careful with that, and we have other things we need to attend to. So
I know. I want you to not know. You know. I know you're putting the mission first, but I just don't want this to be neglected either.
I don't know what he'd know, but
He might know who would know something.
potentially.
So if you don't say it, I'm probably gonna elbow you.
Okay.
All right.
I look for a guard and ask where the modern Pegasus is. After the first layer, so we have less resistant guards.
Yeah, that's fair. I like Denice channeling the inner Karis. Be like, oh, you better ask, and we're doing this. Perfect. I need everybody to roll me perception. As you guys are kind of like actively looking around and checking in the city, and then Zachary could be looking for a guard. Anybody else looking for anything specific?
25. Nice.
Right. 9.
9.
What's 13 plus 9?
22.
22.
Thank you. 22.
22.
I got 13. I'm probably just looking around in awe at all the stuff I've never seen in my life before, and this seems so crazy and what's going on.
So
I
this
could
is
not
a bit of a
imagine
culture
how Kyle
shock.
is feeling right now. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Makai, this is a step up from what you're normal to, but it's also not out of the realm of like what you've heard of and seen either. This rivals like the Prince's Halls, but it's like everywhere. So it's you know it's up there. Celestia, Mark, is on the level of like the architecture, but the amount of industrialization is even blowing your mind at this point. It's surprising you at the level of sophistication that a lot of this technology is giving. As you're looking around for a guard, you don't quite see one, but you do see like a jeweler's and fine metal shop a cartographer's on like one of the lanes that you're looking down. Kahu, as you're kind of again looking around, you see a few armories that are selling like better armor, better weapons, kind of like ceremonial garb. A nice, you can see the guard, you can see a few guards that are helping a few people there. They're kind of centered around like a fountain, like a nice little garden that's kind of like standing as like a centerpiece. Meikai, as you're kind of looking around and kind of seeing the normal hustle bustle, and there's a nice little tailor's down in the corner. You do notice someone in an alleyway that catches your eye with a sort of like well dressed up Hanasuken sort of wear that's covering their face, and as soon as you catch their eye, they dip into the alley.
Do they have horns?
They're covered. It's hard to tell.
No.
That wasn't a nat 20, right? That was just a 25.
That was, yeah, it was a 19.
They got a nat 20 on their stealth, so. You saw them, but they were very well covered. They're very hard to...
They had like the pillow things that you put on to sleep.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They forgot to take them off, so. They rolled a 1 on getting ready for the day.
Alright, I will save that in the bank for later and keep an eye out for this Pegasus place.
Sure. I'll say with the 25, as you're looking down the alley, you see past it, you can actually see the modern Pegasus. At like a couple blocks down.
Zachary, it's over there. I'll point it out.
Oh, perfect. Let's go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think this place has like... I feel like I can learn new things about blacksmithing here, and I also feel like there might be some really cool things with cartography here.
Yeah.
There's so much, and I want to see it.
I'm gonna put my hand on Kahu's shoulder, and so much more food than you will ever be able to see in other places. Bakeries.
We'll find out.
Patisseries.
Skeptical, like, okay.
Italian food.
But yeah, you guys turn down that alleyway. Zachary, you do note that one of like the jewelers has a sign in it saying looking for extravagant dwarven wear. So it sounds like they're in the market for something. Like dwarven artifacts essentially. But you guys take the cart down. As you're heading there, you see up in the corner an airship coming through. It looks like it's landing. It's got the kind of fire gems on full blast kind of coming down. And you can look up what goes up, curving through the mountain onto a kind of plateaued, carved out of the mountain are these landing pads for these airships. And you can see them that have different nations, like flags or images on a few of them. They seem a little bit more of like ambassadors, sort of, or political ships. And then a few that, there's quite a few empty ones, but this one seems to be a little bit more of like a trade ship landing, and you can see a few carts sitting there waiting to grab whatever trades that are on there. But you guys pull up to the modern Pegasus. There is on the far side a like carved out stoneworked stable that has two open kind of like areas you could like park the cart in. There's like an attendant standing there. You do notice this attendant is darker in skin, matching Anir's look. And as you're even like looking around, you can notice most of the people here. There is a big mixture of both, but they seem to majority more darker in skinned, and they're wearing brown and yellow kind of clothing, kind of like a style that seems to match a lot of what everyone's wearing. So there seems to be a little bit of a class divide here as well that you're starting to pick up on. Yep.
Hello, sir. Can we park ours?
Welcome to the modern Pegasus, of course. I'd be more than happy to take that off your hands. Is there any valuables you're keeping on here? Are you guys staying for long? We could bring up to a room.
Temporary for now, potentially longer. We aren't quite sure how long we'll be here at this point, but
Sure thing. Not a problem. I'll be more than happy to keep this down here, and let us know if you'd like to send it up to a room. Be more than happy to.
thank you. Is a gold a solid tip around here?
you don't need. That's way too much.
Here's
If
a
you-
gold.
Thank you. Wow. Much appreciated. It's kind of like a younger, kind of kid that's you just probably gave him a month's wage sort of thing.
There you go.
I quit my job now.
Great. See ya.
Goodbye.
You can take your own stuff up. But yeah, he quickly takes the horses. You see him that he's very well handled with the horses. Seems to kind of like connect with them directly and be like, here, like you're giving them food and taking off their saddles and things like that. So he seems very passionate about what he does. You guys are able to get off and head into the modern Pegasus. The Pegasus has a stone-worked horse head with a unicorn's horn on it and wings, like heading out. And they have kind of like a double doors to enter in. It's quite bright inside.
It's like a
Alright.
better place than last night's.
This place is immense.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to go in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice
I was
sound
just like,
effects.
wow.
Yeah, as you guys go in, there are plenty of tables here. A very prominent. It gives you vibes where like everything's in the middle, and or like the bar's in the back, and there's like a stage in the middle with a bunch of like tables and stuff on the outsides. This seems very much of like a meeting place / entertainment at night. It's just after lunchtime, maybe 3-4 o'clock ish. It's starting to get into the afternoon, but things quite haven't closed off yet. So.
I will look for an ear.
Yeah,
here.
look around for a near.
Perfect. Yeah, as you walk in, you hear a woman who's kind of like cleaning a few dishes, darker skinned as well, long hair, beautiful complexion. She goes, hello, welcome in, come on in. My name's Lisa Fox, how you all doing? How can I help you today?
Hey,
Hi.
we meeting somebody here.
Sure. And from the corner, kind of sitting down is Anir, who stands up. He goes, friends, how you all doing? And kind of walks
Hi.
up to greet you all.
Immediately walk over to greet him too.
Kind of pulls you into a hug and kind of like that half hug and all that stuff. He goes, it's been a little bit. How is everyone doing?
Well, it's definitely good to see a friendly face.
Of course. Lisa, round of drinks on them. Hot drinks, I'm sure.
Yeah, something warm, hot chocolate.
Of course.
Did he say on them?
What do you mean?
Did he say
Oh.
on them?
Meaning like he
Yeah.
like on him.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was
Drinks
like,
on them. Pour 'em on them.
Everybody.
It's a Vanali custom here.
Thanks for everybody. On them.
We
Put
should
on their
start
tab.
that, though.
I love it. But yeah, no, he kind of welcomes me over to like a booth, and it's like like one of those like larger half horseshoe ones, like booths where like a big group could sit down and kind of like got a wheel in the middle for like food and things like that. But please tell me what have you all been up to? Been kind of crazy getting back into the things here.
How secure is this place?
Secure. He looks around. There's like nobody here at the moment. Don't worry, quite secure.
Okay.
Still the same, I see.
Yeah, who would be following us here, Meg?
So, in the alleyway, I did see somebody dressed from my
what?
country, and then they disappeared. So there might be somebody following me from Hanasuka. I don't know.
Wait, do you saw someone dressed in Hanasuken?
Yeah. That's not like a statement here, is it?
I would think that. We're furthest from Hanasuken.
Yeah.
I said that as a joke. And
I know, and I'm saying it in all seriousness that there was somebody. I didn't want to freak us out while we were driving here, but
Well, that's interesting, because sort of why I asked you all to come here. Okay. I'm gonna grab those drinks. Why don't you settle in? I guess sounds like we're getting straight to business. He kind of walks over and actually grabs like the tray and coming back. You see him whisper a few things to Miss Fox. Just kind of nods and she heads to the back room. Comes back, sits down. Ah, perfect. Hands out all the drinks to sit down. Guess small talk's over. Well, are you guys staying in town long? I've tried to reach out to most of the representatives to join in for funeral this weekend. I know Carlos is coming in. A few of the others. Couldn't really find a way to reach out to you all, but are you all staying in town for that? That gives you an awkward look, Mekai.
Well, did you get my letters?
Most of them. That's why I sent out a response to all the taverns between here and...
Did we find any letters or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you knew to come to the Modern Pegasus.
Right, yeah.
He told us to go to the Modern Pegasus.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't realize that you were all going to go.
I sent a second letter. Did you not receive that one?
I don't think I did then.
It's kind of dropped off the radar, so... pretty big revelation, doing shows and stuff, I'm sure.
I think we're just
people are
to
trying to kill
our
us. So
Kill you?
well,
Alrighty.
maybe not kill us, but
Goodness gracious.
something with us.
Sorry to hear that. I really think people would be coming after you that hard right off the bat.
I mean,
Or at all,
look
really.
what happened.
On our way here, we were attacked. So
By who?
someone called. Where's my note? It's been so long.
I think it was the Black Viper, right?
Yeah, the Black Viper. The Viper.
She's the one with like the spider motif on her.
Yeah, Black Viper. There it is. There's my note.
Yeah.
You definitely liked using her poisons.
Kind of, you see him like racking his brain trying to like recognize the name. I don't register anything of that.
It's weird. Don't worry about it.
I'm glad to see you're okay. I'm fought against a few of you, and you kind of see him like still like rotating a shoulder that was hit like in one of the skirmishes. I think you can handle you on. But speaking of which, there's something else we can talk about later. But brought up this Hanasuken person,
Mm-hmm.
Zachary. You are Celestian, right?
Yeah.
Do you have anyone that you know here in the city?
I have or had siblings that were here.
Okay. Was right. Kind of giving like a trying to figure out how to say this to you, look, but there were a recent break-in at one of the Scroll Strikers' residences. Surprisingly enough, someone they spoke of to the suspects. One he referred to as ASMR children, or other witnesses said someone of a Hanasukan wear. Just wasn't sure. Heard a few rumors of ASMRs being in the city, but hadn't really come across them myself.
Wait, you said they broke in, or
There was something stolen at a Scroll Strikers.
Okay.
I haven't investigated it myself, but it just brought my attention when I heard ASMR. I'd been trying to get a little
So-
bit more information.
just want to make sure I have this? Something was broken into at a scroll striker,
Scroll Striker, yep.
and the suspects are ASMR children and someone with Hanasuka garb.
That's the rumors I've been hearing. I don't know what's true and not, but you
How
both
long
kind
ago?
of confirmed both of those. So it sounds there's some balance to that. This was a week ago.
That happened a week ago. So timeline-wise, that was after the last time I tried to contact my brother.
Didn't you try and reach him just recently?
I tried to reach him like before the Centaurium fight, and that's when I couldn't. Get in
Oh, you did it
contact
just.
with
I
him.
thought you did it a second time.
There was the time, it was right after the second Centaurium battle, and I tried to contact everybody that week,
Right.
and no one here I could contact. So
Okay.
Well, he's asking you, did you do it a second time?
I thought you tried to
it's
reach out and you didn't get a response.
back
Was
when
that
I
true?
tried that, yeah, like before the skirmish.
yeah. Then yes, this
Mhm.
would. Yeah, I mean for sure be afterwards.
Okay.
Anais writes really scribbly because she's trying to keep up with the conversation. And, shows the book to Anir and it says
Right.
what
of course.
did they look like? Is there a description of them?
I'll be honest. I haven't spoken to Striker Tau at all. So I mean, it's just rumors that have kind of come through the grapevine. The Scroll Strikers and us don't quite get along.
What
But it
are
was-
scroll strikers?
Oh, right. You're new to the city. I'm sorry. Scroll Strikers are the academics, withholders of authority and mage keeping, that all graduated from the Strumith Academy. I'll put that in the chat. Strumith Academy. That's the main university here. That's where I attend. I was actually their representative. Forced representative, but they weren't going
Yeah.
to send anybody.
We also have to talk about that later.
A few things we could talk. But I figured if you were really related to this, you'd be quite concerned, Zachary. There's a very inquisitive look from him. It sounds like these are rumors that he's heard, but now hearing the confirmation, there's a lot more intrigue, and he's almost trying to pull information from you all as well at the same time. Are you aware of what your family or whoever these are were doing here?
Honestly, I haven't seen them in a year.
Okay. I mean, do you have, I guess, have residents here, family?
We've got a friend.
You
Could you explain that to me? He's looking at you, Zachary. I'm just really curious. I'm not sure I understand why your family would be in Vanali, to be honest.
My parents decided.
I get that. Sorry. Alright. Well, I mean, if you need any help, I'd be more than happy to offer my assistance if you're trying to find them or stop them if they're doing more criminal stuff here.
Yeah, I want to find them. Definitely want to see them.
Be more than happy to make an introduction, I guess. Or at least point you in the right direction. I might make things worth with he's Skull Striker Ikore Tao. But any
Core Tao.
Ikore Yao.
Um,
Him and I have a little bit of history, but
I do have a question though.
sure.
When we came into the city and they asked our business, and we said your name, they didn't seem very happy.
Yeah. The Centauri name is a little weathered here. I'm trying to fix it. My father was a prominent figure at the academy originally, but he was one that had been trying to end the class system and help give equality among kind of our class and those that run the academy and those that are in the council.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm trying a different path as my father. He was a little bit more confrontational, but I don't want to get you guys involved with all that.
Nice, right? Is the class system pretty bad?
You kind of see his face sink a bit. It really is. There's much oppression. I mean, there's so much wealth here and opportunities. I mean, don't get me wrong, life is good, but in these opportunities are only granted to those who were born into it.
Mm.
We are not typically accepted into the academy, and if we are, there's not much advancement, even though I'm easily top of my class. So that's why I chose to convince them to send me as a representative. I wanted status, a leverage to make a play to, join the council as a representative of the Luminare. But
Has that gone well since you've been back?
not really. Again, I'm not trying to get you all involved in everything, but I've been attempting the trials to be accepted into the council. Failed a few times. If I can get a seat on the council, I can make a difference for the Luminare and hopefully change things.
She writes, so people don't like the change. Is that why the guards are so weird about it?
Status quo, for sure. Most of the council are old mages who have studied all of their life, and they keep their wealth and technology to themselves unless it's profitable. Giving technology to the other cities, to even, primordial cities, it's not really accepted, even though that's something we're trying to push for. Why keep it to ourselves when we can advance things? And there are smarter people out there that can help us research and do this. And he kind of points to you and I. So he goes, I mean, your father is a perfect example of that.
She writes, you'll probably always be hated if you go against the grain, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. So I'm glad you're trying.
Exactly our point. Don't worry, I won't give up the fight. It's just these trials are stacked against those. Typically, those that go and have opportunity, have allies and resources to play and hire help to assist them through these trials. It's just me. I've found it quite difficult.
So just a bunch of magic stuff?
Sort of. It's a hard-fought, grueling series of puzzles, traps, fights through a tower. And you get to the top. You bring the, you know, their, I'm blanking out. I'm trying to be, I can picture it in my head. I can't think of it. Whatever. The final thing that they want at the top, the stone. When they return it, that's how you show that you're worthy enough. You've studied enough with your magics. Artifact. That was the word I was looking for. Once you get to the top, that's where the artifact of Vanali is, and when you return it, you show you're truly worthy.
Well, you're allowed to have others there for it.
You can. I mean, that's the thing. Typically, those with resources can hire assistants. Bring in friends who are on equal level with them.
Perhaps I'm overstepping my bounds, but if you're able to help us with Zach, I'd be willing to help you with that.
I don't mean to interject on that. I mean, I'm sure you are all very busy and came here for a reason, but I couldn't ask. I mean, if you are offering.
Ania, first of all, we are friends.
We are.
Second of all, the selfish part of me that knows that I'm going to have to deal with my own trials in the near future knows that I'm going to need allies.
Sorry, lip broke.
And I know that the rest of us likely will as well. And if we don't work together, particularly those who know each other because it's the Centaurium, I don't know how else we're going to change things.
Huh. You obviously were paying attention in political class. You've learned something. Yes. Well, you all helped me get on the council. I guarantee Vanali will be there to assist you if you need it.
And we specifically, right now, need help with Zax.
Yeah.
I figured that was the more pressing matter.
And whoever the Sanasukan person is.
Anais is like holds up her hand and then she writes, I actually have one other thing too. It's pretty important. She's just like,
Let's add to it. I mean, if we're gonna knock them out, let's do it all at once.
We're looking for ruins, right? It's been so long. I forgot what specifically.
You're looking for an artifact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stone.
Stone.
And it's probably the thing in front of the tower.
A stone that he's potentially already talked about. You're not sure if they're connected, but
okay.
You can ask.
I would then at that point then I would ask, what does that artifact look like? Do you know?
Sure. I mean, it's a subject of study for ours. It's obviously connected to the affinities and the source magic. At least that's what we call it. Source magic that is directly bestowed from the affinities before. Most of our technology is trying to find how to mimic it and synthesize it. And what he does is trying to go back through my notes.
I just cough and look at Zach.
Zach is very quiet at this point.
It is. Yeah. Gallery. Right. So you see his eyes flare a bit and runes that light up on his arms down to his hands. And with a little bit of an illusion, he creates almost a similar looking stone with kind of cutouts in it that are reminiscent of the other stone artifacts you've already seen. And it has the Astolary sign kind of carved into it. Seems like the light stone. Yeah.
It looks like something.
For sure looks like the light stone that you guys are looking for.
Yes, that is it.
Ah. I see. So you're looking for this? For what reasons? I mean, Chosen's affinities, I get it. But I mean...
Instead of this, we have...
I didn't hear any of you bring this up while we were at the Centaurium. What changed?
We really didn't
We got
realize
this
it.
the day we got kicked out of the Centaurium.
Yes,
Yeah, that's fair.
we did.
So, story time? It kind of leans back. What happened to you in between? Someone tried to kill you? I'm looking for
his
Vanali's most
traveling.
important artifact that they've had for years?
I mean, you saw what attacked that day, right? You were there.
Yeah.
We're looking to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
Stone can stop that?
Maybe.
I believe it can help.
Our only lead we got right now.
You can see, especially Anir, who's already like very intellectual, his gears are moving in his head. He's putting connections together. He's taking everything in.
We're walking through this as we go, and we're partially blind.
That's what science and studies are. Revealing the unknown.
Sure. Yes.
Nothing that is revealed and discovered was known before it, right?
That's true. I guess not all science is like math science. I'm not good with that stuff.
Some are formulaic. Others are discoveries, metaphysical, philosophical, religious, divine. Though I've found this is concrete. Magics that are here are crystalline. They are connected. They're something you can study. But maybe it seems that our paths are aligned for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how easy getting the stone to keep will be, but help me win the trials and I can at least get you an audience with the 9. The 9, right? And he kind of looks at like the blank faces on your on all of you guys are like blink, blink, blink.
I'm assuming towers.
Yes, the 9 are the rulers of our town. They're the council of the 9. So
Clever.
We can't just like take the stone and go.
no, it's
Oh.
for sure a instilled artifact for the city. It would have to be with the approval of the 9. And even then, they're unknown in identity. Once you are on the council, your identity is kept secret because of this exact reason. You have reason to try and get leverage on one of them. To find them, kill them, and force them to hand something over to you. That's why we have animosity on the council.
But if you become on the council
Yeah, you have to like wear a hood or something.
with our help, I think we kind of stand
We don't
out.
like hoods here, but in
But we love the hoods.
some do, some don't.
I mean, if you're yeah, go
It's
ahead.
anyone that goes before the council members are shrouded in shadow. Which is bizarre, because when they did Arcane, you know, when like they go in shadow around that thing, that's exactly what I've already pictured. It was like, that's so cool. So yeah, if you watched Arcane, like anytime they're in the shadow, that's kind of like how the council is built. Kind of explains that too. Again, kind of like illusionary, showing that the oldest gets retired as a new come in. That's how we keep how it's been here. How they keep everything fresh and new. Been quite some time though since anyone has replaced anyone on the council.
So the trials do not, if you are successful, it's not just immediate council, is it?
Oh yeah, that's what the trial is for, to gain a seat on the council.
So
That's why it's so hard.
Do the council members know who each other are then?
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
So they're the only ones that oversee the trial.
Correct.
if we go with you, we are pretty noticeable. And then people would know.
I mean,
Right?
in time, people forget who's on the council. I'm sure people closer to them know who it is, but It's not like
Maybe.
you come in, it's pronounced and announced to you. It's the roster.
No,
Maybe
I also feel like this is
Makai.
quite a large city. Do you guys always actually know everybody here?
Not at all.
Maybe there's some sort of magic that makes you forget people's names and stuff too.
That's pretty powerful magic. I don't think that would be possible.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Not that
Uh,
nobody forgets the Chosen's names ever.
All right, what's that tone change? What do you guys know that I don't?
Can you
Right.
name any previous chosen?
He
Any
look-
previous.
He looks over to you, Kahu, and he's like, "Is that their version of like a joke? Is that sass coming from Zachary right now? I cannot read him."
It's
You know,
sarcasm.
only because I know what he's saying, do I know that that's sass right now? If I was in your shoes, I'd have no idea. His face. The man's got...
Zachary, to be honest, this is the most we've talking, even when
He's
we
got
were
the
at
gambler's
at
face.
the academy together.
I told you I wanted to come visit with you here, so now I am.
I'm very appreciative. Getting used to you, that's all. In a good way.
no.
They're
And
asking
here-
the question, though, Nia.
Speaking of which, hold on. Miss Fox, and like as she's like coming back in, he goes, "We need another round. Our friends were, business stuff."
Do you remember, or have you heard, or ever come across a name of one that was chosen? We've all heard
Besides
of
us.
them.
You all.
No. Previous, not the king.
It's fine and nice. The bathroom's around the corner that way. Previously?
Yeah. No, not the king.
No, I mean, that's Chosen's are forgotten, right? Oh,
Yeah.
right. That can. I guess that would be magic. Never really thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like magic spells that's like we can access, though. I mean, I haven't heard of anybody being able to do something similar to that.
There's definitely interesting magics that we've come across, so
Be mindful of it.
Mindful, I like
careful
that.
what you wish for.
Lots of notes.
What is with Make? Are you okay? It's.
There's a lot of stuff and I don't.
I know you're like
100% feel
hinting. I
secure.
feel like you're hinting at things that I'm not aware of.
I feel uncertain how much we can talk in a place like this.
This is very secure. This is our establishment. This is my father's establishment.
Oh, is he alive? You were talking about him like he was passed.
Oh no, he's still alive. He's in the back. I mean, he's old, but alive.
Oh.
He's our head of the Luminare. Our organization trying to represent, our class. Not quite the Illuminati, but Close to it. We are trying to make a difference. Trying to finish what my father started. Speaking of which, I mean, if you're going to help, Luminaries would be willing to offer our assistance for you. Help find your family. In return, if you're still interested, you can maybe help me make a difference here. Win the trials. And see what I can do about this rock, or at least study it at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Are
Alright.
there
What?
long
What are
What?
y'all talking about?
What are they
Mark,
talking
Not
about?
important.
I want to know.
To correct?
I don't want to call out anybody, so just move on.
Well, you put it in the chat.
You did!
I'm
Did I say
existing.
something?
I'll
So-
say it.
Sure.
Do you want me to say it?
Fine.
It's not Applebee's, it's Chili's.
Yes.
Oh, that's it! I thought it was something I said! I was like, what, did I say something wrong?
Yeah, I sorry.
Oh, okay, because of the office. Okay, I was like, what? I was like, Chili's? What are you guys talking about?
Oh, because in the
That's
office,
hilarious.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Yep.
I was holding back, everybody.
Nah,
And
that's
here-
important. We need to stop the game for that one. 100%. We have to get our office. That's right. Anir is
Sorry.
going to be holding the awards here, the Dundee Awards
Yeah.
at the Modern Pegasus. The Luminari Awards.
I can hopefully not have the nosebleed now trying to resist
For
correction.
sure. I wanted to make sure you're not distracted. Meika, you were saying something here? Sorry.
Yeah, do you know any magics that can like transport people over great distances? Just by like not even like meaning to, like you don't need one of those things.
Oh, teleportation
circles.
circle.
Yeah, it's not a circle.
There are high magics that can do. There's very few that I know, but possible beyond my capabilities currently.
Okay, I was just wondering.
It is possible.
Just encountered it, and I don't know very much about spells.
Sure. I mean, teleportation is much easier with a circle and a focus, but on its own, it's been found to be quite unpredictable and seemingly dangerous to some people. There's this really popular story about the man who found himself inside of a cliff. Didn't end well for him.
Doesn't sound great. Well, yeah, okay. I was just wondering.
Oh, we'd be more than happy to.
Alright.
I mean, is there anything else? Enjoy keeping up with you all.
I mean, I think we should eat some food.
Of course, definitely.
We should also go to like a salon or spa because
Fine.
these two do not know.
I want to look around and make sure nobody else is around.
Yeah, definitely. Go for it. Your perception check.
13.
No, right now it's Miss Fox. There's one other person that's kind of came in, kind of eating in the corner, but he's like on the far side, and no one really listening in or anything like that.
That doesn't look like the person you saw earlier, right, Mekai?
Check
Definitely
him
not.
out.
For sure not.
No, he was wearing Hanasuken. Oh,
This person is kind of a darker skin. The person you saw was lighter skin as well.
I'll take out like my little sketchbook and show them what Hanasuken clothes look like in case anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, it was a very dark, like it was like a black, kind of reminiscent to like an almost
Ninja?
Japanese or ninja sort of garb, with red, flowery kind of outlining Hanasuken imagery.
I don't know
It's
anybody.
actually kind of reminiscent to some of the soldiers that you guys fought with the Black Viper. Some of them that you had obviously seen some of the Hanasuken here. It was similar, not quite the same, but something seems similar.
Yeah.
It's not enough to
done
like
drawing.
connect it to like those soldiers, but it's similar in style.
That is a well done drawing.
Thank you.
Oh, she's good at art. That's something I noticed. I mean, all of you kind of went off on your own a lot, but you would read a book. You would read a book too. I think Jawarston would always read a lot with you, nice. Mekai, you would play your instrument or art, draw. Oh, you're easy. You were always just working out.
We had our discussions as well.
Oh, of course. I'm just saying when you're off on your own.
Speaking of which, if we're done with the business side of things,
I still had questions, and
Ah, that's
Oh,
why I was
did
asking
you?
for more questions, for sure.
Anais.
Anais just like is writing something down for a second, and she finally like slides it over, and it says, "Okay, so let me just make sure I'm getting this right. We need to help you get on the council to try and get the artifact.
Access to
And-
the artifact.
What?
Access to the artifact. I can't say I can guarantee you rights to
Yeah.
the artifact. It's
Right.
been
Okay.
in Vanali's possession for years.
And then you're gonna look out for Zach's brothers or information about him.
I can have my contacts. We can up the search for them. I hadn't really gotten involved before, and I'd be more than happy to at least make an introduction to Riker Tau, or at least point you in the right direction if you are worried of my presence interfering. But I think that would probably be the best first start.
And what is it they stole? Are they stealing something?
I don't know. That's just the word that has gone around from them that I've gotten a couple guard or two to talk. There was a break-in, and he's accusing something of being stolen. All I know. Being a scroll striker, I'm assuming it's something important.
How long does it take before we can set up the tower thing?
I mean, I just recently failed. But I could potentially redo it in a few days.
Okay.
It's kind of free for anyone to go do it, but it's not easy. The grueling 9 levels trying to get through.
How far did you get?
5. You have 9 hours to do it.
All right.
Like fighting stuff?
That's the amazing thing about it. It changes every time. There's riddles, traps, combat. It's a truly full test of one's capability. Myself, I am kind of like does a little flourish. Fine at the arcane, not quite at the hand-to-hand combat. And he's like looking over at like Yukahu as like he got slammed in the skirmish by you. Us together, I think we'd be a quite balanced team. Again, not that I'm asking you. If you'd be more than happy to step away.
Set it up.
Thank you. Be more than happy to. I'll be eternally grateful. I really am. Would you want to do it before or after the funeral? Funeral's this weekend. Could try and fit it in beforehand.
Guess maybe after and we can look for Zex. You're actually going?
Look for Zach before the funeral.
Would hope many of the representatives are going to attend.
In actual.
What's that, Nice?
And Ice just does this, and if anyone notices, they could say something during. If they don't, then it's fine.
Were you not a fan of Sarkar?
And then
Granica.
What?
I'll mind link to Anais because I tell she's trying to.
Oh,
Actually, I'll
yeah.
ask her
So
if we're okay, mind
yeah,
link.
I'll just say, well, I mean, they hate the Chosens because he died because of us. So I don't know if we're invited.
I highly doubt they're going to stop you from attending the funeral.
I mean, I had pretty personal relations with him, so... And he's gone. And they didn't seem very happy.
Zachary, that is quite uncouth of you, no? Stabbing him like that. I mean, it was we're all aware it wasn't you.
I
Right.
think that matters.
Doesn't...
I mean, anyone... Unless you're playing some long game, why would you, before even coming out as a chosen, write something on the wall to announce your arrival? Makes no sense.
No, but when people are grieving or they're upset enough, rationality doesn't matter. That goes out of the window completely.
She says to Kahu so he can say something if he wants, but it's like, yeah, and the border guards at Granica specifically told us we shouldn't go to the funeral.
Yes.
Fair.
This is a point she was saying.
I mean, Lady, wow, it's been a while. Lady, what's her name? The Queen.
Liara? Oh, Amara?
Liara? No.
Oh my gosh.
There's an A.
Alana. Hi guys, it's been so long since we played. We don't even remember NPC names.
The best part is all those names, yes, sounded exactly alike as they're all being said at once.
Sad part is they're all like actual NPCs in there too. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you guys are all right. They're just not the right one. Oh man.
Lady Alana.
Lady Amara of Canada shall be there. Yes, Alana will be there. I'm sure no one would make a move for there. She's likable to you all, right?
Yes.
Carlos will be there. Joarston. A little reunion. I mean, if you want to go. Again, if you don't, I can make sure they understand.
I would like to go, but
You said you
I
had
look
ish-
at Makai. Probably kind of obviously. I like just look at Makai like probably really obviously.
yeah, after I say but and kind of draw off, I kind of look over at Makai as well.
Anir looks at my guy.
I mean, yes, but I already said goodbye.
Do not, I mean, don't care what others think. Well, both obviously got close.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't want to cause people to be angry. I mean, even if they can't do anything, I don't know.
Let me rephrase. Fuck everyone else. What do you want to do? Sorry, wrong channel. Bump everyone else. What do you want to do?
I mean, I'm interested in going. Is it the smartest thing? Is for everybody else?
I need a little beep that I can go back and edit in.
I was just thinking
If anyone's watching this on a church wall, my bad. You're allowed one. You're allowed one F word in PG-13 movies now. So. Anyways,
What does everybody else think? What do they
just
want to do?
asked you.
Zachary.
I just asked you,
Zachary.
forget everyone else. What do you want? Even with those that you sit at the table with. And everyone else here in Organia. Doesn't matter, what do you want? Do you want to go, or do you want to leave the past in the past?
I want to go.
There you go. For your friends, be supportive of that, right?
I didn't get to go to June's.
June?
Yeah. I was married to the Prince of Hanasuka,
Oh.
and then I killed him.
Alright. There's a lot of things we never really got to talk about, was there?
That's why I look like this. It's a curse, magic. And
Kingslayer. That's the nickname I used to
Yes.
call you, wasn't it?
mm-hmm.
The whole enemies to lovers thing, that was really kind of interesting to watch, actually.
And now I'm another prince player in some people's eyes. I know I'm not, but
I'm sorry. Sure, that's hard.
mm-hmm.
And Ice writes, I mean, it's good to know what we want because I think all of us would want to be there, but we also need to know what's wise to do, not just what we want. So is it wise to be there or is it stupid?
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good point.
You're asking someone who makes it their life course to rebel against the status quo, so not sure if I'm the right person to.
Hey, Zach,
What?
do you think? You're more morally correct. No offense, Anir. I just mean like he cares. He's not as rebellious.
You're not wrong.
I don't know.
I'd like to find your family.
Like that's
Here.
the priority.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the top priority, and we can make decisions around other things based off of our progress.
I personally don't think it would be good for us to go, but
Yeah.
I think it would take away from the memory of him because people hate us so much in that area. If our presence is there, it's like bringing what everyone despises in on full display.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm gonna go check on that food. You guys talk about that, and I'll be right back. Near's gonna get up to go kind of check on the food and order some for you guys, and that's where we'll take our break. We'll come back. You guys have a second in the corner here at the Modern Pegasus in the city of Vanali. Super excited to finally get this city and storyline on the road, and kind of get some stuff going for you guys. So we'll take a quick break, allow everyone to go to the bathroom, let your dog out, anything like that. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back, and say hi in the chat because we don't have a question or anything like that. So all right, we'll see you guys. We'll be right back. All right. Thank you guys so much for the short break. Yeah, let us know in the chat if you guys are getting any sort of delay. Unfortunately, it did seem that there was a little bit of a delay going on when we went right before we went to break. So we'll see. Continuing plaguing internet issues over here at Bardicdice, but it had been holding up. We'll see if it keeps up. But yeah, we'll continue on the game and just go from there. So you guys are in the modern Pegasus, and you guys, Anir heads off to get some food, heads back into a back room, and kind of gives you guys a little bit of time just to talk amongst yourselves if you need to, and give you some private time.
Everyone doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's very smart if we do go. As much as I want to, I just don't think it's smart to go to the funeral, but I do think that it is a good idea to try to talk to the others who are at the other representatives. Just about visiting them, if they've seen anything, where they live, and stuff like that. But we don't have to do that at the funeral. He said that they were coming here, right? That they were all going together.
What it sounded like.
So maybe we just set up something that we can talk to Carlas and Joarston, whoever else.
Carlos is coming here. He didn't say anything about everyone else coming here.
Oh, okay.
Vanali. But he didn't really, define it either.
Yeah.
Anais says in Kahu's head and then signs to the other two. I mean, there's some options, I guess. We could not go. We could go and make sure we're not recognizable. That could be an option. Or we could just go as ourselves. But I don't know what good us going as ourselves would do. It's like Zach said, we might just make things worse. If they already hate us and blame us for his death, what's the point? Unless we somehow have a way to make it better, but I don't know what that would be.
I
don't like the fact that I can't go and see a friend's funeral.
I'm not saying we can't. I'm just saying I don't know.
I understand what you're saying. I just mean
it's not simple.
That's not a dynamic I've ever had to deal with before.
Yeah.
I've been to war. Lots of people have died there, but I've always been able to be there for the last rites.
Yeah.
But the world is such that we can't even do that. Do it simply without ruining people or changing how the event occurs, instead of it being about the life and what that individual did, making it into something else entirely. I feel like that's wrong.
Yes.
It would be nice if it was simple.
That's the thing about funerals, is you get no say in your own.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess good things about going to the funeral would be personal closure and meeting up with everybody and being able to check in, which would be good. We wouldn't have to waste message spells. We could talk to everybody in person.
Yeah. Set up potentially meeting with them and not having to worry about letters being intercepted or anything like that.
Yeah. Bad things about going, it could make Gravnica hate us way more, and we could get arrested or something. And then everyone might hate us more.
Yeah.
of a night.
Yeah, that's very true. I can't disguise myself, so
Well, I mean, maybe we could get creative.
maybe Anir has things. Spells. I mean, maybe. I mean, you have the spell.
I
Does
could
that
do
last?
one myself.
Yeah.
1 hour.
Mm.
Maybe a little longer, maybe 2 hours if I really focus.
I know that funerals, I mean, we call them like state funerals, royal funerals, they last a long time. Like hours, like entire days. I don't know how long this one is planned out for, but I imagine if he was some kind of, I mean, prince figure.
Maybe at the very least we could send something with him to bring there.
What?
A parting gift for the dead.
Oh.
I mean, maybe we could ask Anir if there is a way to disguise ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you guys don't want to do that.
I would like to go, but I don't want to make my selfish desires jeopardize any relations or anything. That's not what I want. I got to say a very nice goodbye to him at the Centaurium.
It's about the
So-
time you guys actually see Anir come back. Is the boy that kind of helped you at the stable, kind of helping him. They're coming back with large plates of rice and different meats and fish and veggies. Very much kind of like an Indian cuisine style where they put everything in the middle and kind of like on the spin table and you guys can share it. Very kind of very good food. So, get a little closer over food. Unless you guys would like a little couple more minutes alone.
I just start eating. No.
Goku style.
There's
Is it
your-
rude to start, or do we all start together? What's the custom here?
You please go ahead and dig in. It's
Okay.
shared food.
Yeah, the Kaho, this isn't all for you.
We're not quite religious around here. Not much praying before we eat or anything. Oh. Well then. Anything more I can help with? Or anything I can chime in on if you need me?
Next
Well-
is just looking at Makai.
Still on that? Sure, yeah.
Disguising spells or items? I can't dye my hair, it doesn't take, so it's not like I could be another tiefling.
There. I mean, there's plenty of arcane shops around here. You might be able to find some scrolls or odd magic items. Do that. Don't think I would have anything directly that could help with that. Not really on the illusion style of things.
Hmm.
Well, you know, unless you're trying to, you know, have a momentarily persuade someone to get through something, I could potentially do that, but a full-on disguise, not really my thing.
Yeah. Always do something like that. Well, we can still think about it. How many days, Mike, is it till the weekend?
So it'd probably be like the equivalent of a Tuesday, so it'd be about 4 days to the weekend.
Oh, okay, we have time.
You guys have a couple days.
I didn't know if
to-
it was like Friday and it's like you guys have
right,
this
yeah,
or
like
that.
we're going tonight,
Oh.
you know. No. You guys have a couple days, so like if you wanted to do that this, you know, weekend, you guys have a few days to search around in the city, and then if you guys wanted to do the trials, you could as well.
Nice. Well, right. I mean, well, that way that helps because then we can know if we need more time for looking for Zach's brothers.
I think we should just focus on that right now.
Fair.
Can't really say I'm used to having a large family. I'm only child myself, but we're all brothers and sisters here in our community. I understand when one person has an issue, all of us come together and help out. So.
So my village worked too.
Just, again, I'd be more than happy to help. I would not drop the Luminar's name or the Centauri name. In some circles, again, we're seen as a resistance force in the city, against the flow of things.
What does
that like a prank or something to have us tell the guards we know you and to take us to you?
No, I mean, obviously you need to find me. Wasn't expecting them to give you that much of an issue, but it's pretty common around here for the guards to know who's coming in and out. We're very high on security here. A lot of technology,
Okay.
but a
Yeah.
lot of attacks before. Sorry you had issue with that.
No, it's stupid. So
It is. It's a change.
And I still write and slide to him again. What does the city think of Chosens? Should we throw that around, or is that something that we need to not?
I'd say it's a mixed bag. I mean, there are a lot of the mind that it is our duty to rise above, find our own knowledge to surpass and not be dependent on the Chosen. Others understand that the Chosens come from the power of the affinities, then it's no different than a natural phenomenon, something that coexists with the affinities. It's a mixed bag here. Everyone has their own interpretation, intellectual thought process on it, and some people just don't care. Gotta filter myself.
It's not Fae night.
Not Fae night, yeah. I would potentially ask first, or just dropping names. And again, some statuses though, or some circles, status quo makes all the difference. So you might be able to get some leverage being a chosen. Others might hurt you.
Fair enough.
What about the
Because-
spell slingers or whatever?
Yeah.
Scroll strikers?
Yeah.
Spell slingers, I like that a lot more actually. Again, I don't think it's a official position to like them or not. Scroll strikers are official authorities from the academy that kind of serve outside of the councils to give checks and balances to help keep things safe here, to prioritize the safety of the technology and kind of keep that information upheld in the city. They are also the ambassadors to other cities, so the scroll strikers directly determine the outflow and inflow of information.
So that would mean favorable or unfavorable to Chosens.
Again,
Would you say?
indifferent.
Indifferent.
Why were you said that they were not going to send anybody to the Centurium, but you stepped up?
Yeah, the academy has never quite been one to care about Solastirium. Sorry, the Centaurium. A lot of similar names in my game. They've never been one to care. They see their own academy as being better, and it's a exclusive kind of mentality here. They are one to keep everything within and not include others from outside. Hence the practice of the class system.
Have you found that since coming back from the Centurium that it's been favorable for you or not favorable?
I got access to the trials, didn't I? about it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. My name still has been wrung through the mud, but it's a step in the right direction. Kind of now seen as more of a leader among the Luminaries as well.
That's good.
Well,
So,
definitely see what we can do for you there.
Thank you. I
so
really appreciate that. It's, again, not needed. I don't want to bring you into my struggles, but any help would be greatly appreciated.
Because we've encountered people who keep looking at us very suspiciously, and it's not just because we're primordials, but
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, I can see them.
yeah.
Not yours.
So I feel that we stand out. It's a mixed bag. And we're not really trying to hide anything, but I guess that just kind of interact with someone and see what happens.
Isn't that life?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's on the unfortunate side effects of the divide and the political structure that happened on Organia. The way things are set up now, it's divisive, excluding. Needs to change.
Needs to be more uniting.
That should be our fates. But we'll see what happens. It takes everyone's effort and one person at a time to change things. The more we get a chance to get in power and change things from the inside, how I see things.
So there is a class system here. How are people like us, primordials, seen then? As exotic, oddities, completely shunned?
Outsiders, for sure. Sure, there would be some that would be more open and willing to work with you. But I'd say as a city, they're not used to seeing your... You'd be more welcomed, I'd say, in the lower parts of the city. The higher you go, the more exclusive. I mean, there are merchants that come here, ride here from Radishan, Celestia on occasion, Anasukan previously. So it's not like it's unseen, but not normally, though. But that's what I want to change. If the more the representatives work together, we can hopefully open avenues to make that a common thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Peace is rung out for so long. There's no reason to continue this division.
Yeah.
I was still eating.
Anything else you guys want to ask him? Or speak to him about?
If we're done speaking business, there was one thing.
Go
I got you a gift from the last time I had an opportunity to do so.
Oh.
I placed a little bag in front of him.
What's this?
Go ahead, open it up.
He opens it up real quickly. He likes gifts.
There's like a fine, powdery, reddish dust.
Oh, it's from the prison, isn't it?
You are correct.
I don't even remember this. What is this?
That there, near, is proof of another realm.
I know what you're talking about. Another realm? It's just theory.
There's those who haven't walked in them.
And you did?
We were brought to one. Well, me and another at least.
And you said you didn't have stories to share. Tell me. What happened?
I'll be a little bit vague on specifics as to why I got there, unless the one that I went with, gives me full permission there.
You hear in her head, please no.
But suffice it to say,
Forgot this.
it led us to a group of people who opened up what seemed a doorway, but it was like an image on one side, and if you turned to the other, there was not. And when you stepped through, it was as though you were in this... It seemed like a realm that went on forever, but you could tell that it was enclosed by something.
You see him
someone
cast a spell, and he does a bit of what you, Zachary, you had recognized as identify on the dirt there, and got a faint touch of magical aura, but it's nothing that I've seen before. Interesting. And who has
Just
access to this?
Anais hears in her head. Am I okay to share that much?
I don't know how much can we trust him, Kahu. I don't know him that well.
I talk about realms all the time.
Well, okay, you can trust him with realms. Can you trust him with anything else? I don't know him. I don't know.
He sprays the dirt in your face and attacks you all!
I believe that Kahu had pretty good faith in him, right? Because I think I rolled a number of insight checks on him through our conversations.
Yeah, you guys have always been upfront, and he's always been one to speak of, the search for truth and knowledge. And
yeah,
you never heard him talk about the class system before, though. It wasn't something he really ever brought up in conversation with you.
Let's just say a faction that we don't fully trust took us there, for now. So if you do find a way to connect to this, don't go through unless you have backup. Preferably
Fair.
us with you.
Do you mind if I bring this to a few people for study?
Keep it vague.
Oh.
And let us know if you run into anything interesting.
Be more than happy to. You kind of just see the sparkle in his eyes, that arcane intellectual.
Just don't spill the dirt on us.
That's one of your famous puns. I've missed them.
Yes.
Carlos is gonna really like that if you guys go to the funeral.
I just hope that Carlos will say one pun, even in his head, in the presence of Carter. I think he would like that.
Are you kidding me? He'd be a fish out of the water if he didn't.
I got that.
Jack just starts
that was a
crying.
fish joke.
I try.
Are you okay?
It's pretty much the only
Zach?
one that I'm good at with him.
It
Oh,
just got a
okay.
sudden headache.
Oh, you should eat something.
I get it. That was a
I
joke.
am eating.
I'm starting to understand it better. Zachary, I like you.
Zachary knows magic stuff. You guys can talk.
I'm always open to talk to you, Zachary. If you want to come by the study and have books and things, if you're interested.
Books.
Zach is more than just books.
I know.
Sounds like Meika is more excited about books than anything.
I don't know. I'm in a weird mood right now. I'm sad. I'm extremely sad, but I'm trying to be happy. And it's a really...
The Nier gets a little awkward, just like, oh man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I slide the tankard of plenty over to you.
I'm more than happy to have drinks on me. Miss Fox is quite the good person to listen to listen to you. He just leans over and just goes, pat, pat.
Hey, Makai,
Yes.
would you ever be willing to play for us? I point over at the stage.
Sure, Zach. Did you also want to play?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I thought we did a good job in the. Okay.
I don't want to play right now, no.
I mean, I don't really either, but.
I don't.
I was just trying to find some. I'm trying to find a way to cheer people up, okay?
Although playing, how good. We can earn money that way for a little bit.
There's no one in here.
Well,
You kind of
what
need an
is-
audience for that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do you ever have an audience, or is that just for show?
We get pretty busy around here, especially on the Thursday, Friday nights. Live music every week.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something now?
Do you want me to?
I'm just following Kahu's form. I was ready to just get
Is there
investigating.
rooms here for us? Are we able to stay here?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
room's on me. Told you, you're my
Alright.
guest in Vanali.
Thank you.
I want to know. Mm-hmm.
You want to know what?
Sorry, Zach.
Go ahead. Finish your thought making.
No. I'm sorry.
I just am ready to go to my room, but if you haven't thought about fingers, you take it away.
No, I think
You guys always were a little awkward when I met you.
I know, we could be doing so good for so long, and then something
Shoom.
happens, and then it just falters into the most awkward.
Zach, if rooms, yeah.
I haven't felt like this in a while, Adias.
What happened? I don't even know. You hear in your head, Connor.
What was that, Miss I need to go. I'll get you guys set up in your rooms.
You hear a shrug in your head.
You take Makai, I'll take Zach.
Well, you guys are more than happy to get settled here. I'll have Henry bring up your bags to your rooms. Things like that. I'll grab the dishes, I'll grab the tab, and if there's anything else you guys need, I mean, I'm always around here helping my father run the place, and if you guys want me to make introductions to you, or at least point you to Striker Tao, or if you have other errands in the city, more than happy to assist you.
Yeah, where is that? Like Striker Tao.
Oh, Striker Tao, he lives up in the housing near the academy. Very easily find. You just ask around once you get to the academy.
Oh, it's okay to go to his house.
He's a private person, but you know, you have
Probably
questions.
best to reach out to him through the academy.
Maybe it'd probably be better just to go directly to him. You know, apologize afterwards. Academy is quite closed off. Unless you were to enroll there, they don't really deal with outside. Not like a community college sort of thing.
I just wanted to know about your arms because you mentioned that before we left the Centaurium. That's all I was going to ask.
It's a story. What exactly do you want to know about it?
Well, let's get to our rooms first, and then we can talk about it later, and you can figure out if you want how much you want to say or not.
Fair enough. Sure. All right. Let me go get your keys then.
Yeah.
He comes back. He gives you guys your keys. You guys are easily able to kind of take a break, separate, recover from the awkwardness, and kind of get your things ready in the room. Breathe.
I literally just felt bad interrupting Mark. I was like, "Oh, sorry."
We're good.
Question, Mick. I'm trying to remember now.
Mhm.
I know his backstory. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said about it.
So
You.
when we were parting,
Yeah.
and Nier's like, I wish that we would have gotten to know each other more because you and I are a lot more similar than you think.
And he showed you like
And
a
then he,
bracelet, right? On his arm?
yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the bracelet. I thought it was bandit. I was
I
thinking.
was
it
trying to think
bandages.
like
Yeah,
arm. I was like, I don't remember what I told you about the arm.
Yeah, no, he held that up and he's just like, come talk to me, bye. And then he just peaced out.
Yeah. No, you definitely see him tighten up a bit with that, and it wasn't something he was expecting to be brought up here. So, we can talk about it maybe for drinks or something.
Yeah. I was gonna find him one-on-one after this.
Yeah, well, you didn't, so.
I look and get my key in my room and then I go find him. That's what I'm gonna do.
Sure. You guys get separated. You go look for an ear. What are the rest of you guys doing? May the noodles start.
Oh. It's in the food.
Manir has been already offered
Oh
as a
no!
Manir is a
Makai! No, just kidding.
All right. Yep. So you go find Manir. Anais, what are you up to? Oof.
I would probably be looking at what Kahu and Zach are doing.
Kaho, what are you doing?
Is there any place where I can... Is that stage okay to be used right now for, like, training? Or is there a place outside for that or something?
Miss Fox is just kind of like, as you're asking, and Nier's grabbing the keys. I'm like, be my guest, darling. I mean, put on a show. If not, there's room out back behind the stable. Either way.
Much appreciated.
I mean, I'd enjoy the show. You don't see a ring on the finger or anything?
Kyle hops up onto the stage.
What is Zach doing?
I mean, Zach will get his room key, and then he will kind of be like, I might go take a walk around. So.
Besides, I'll come with you.
Okay.
Bodyguard.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so Kaho is on the stage putting on a show to anyone watching. You guys separate. It is starting to get a little bit into the afternoon. There are people that are coming from work, leaving their jobs at different stores, or students at their schools, things like that. You see a lot of everyone here. If you're downstairs with them, they all kind of are wearing like similar of that like same garb and color schemes and things like that. Everybody here, for the most part, has that same bracelet as Anir. You do pick up on that, especially you, Makai. Let's go with. Why don't you guys roll off? Zach and Makai, go give me a roll off. Who goes first?
17.
Kaho, are you just
That
doing
is
this the whole
what I
time while
rolled
everyone
as well.
shows up?
I got a 17.
We rolled the same thing. Wow, twins.
I just rolled a 17!
You did?
Kahu,
Triplets.
10.
Aww.
we're not united yet. Okay.
Kaho, you're out. All right, re-roll.
16.
I guess just
Cool.
one of us can roll since we're together, so.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Kaho, are you
That's hilarious.
still doing your show while everyone else is starting to show up and gather in? Or would you stop?
Let me roll perception check to see if I notice if people are showing up. It's a natural 20, so yeah, I'll finish it up.
Quite clear, yeah. One person puts like a coin in the cup. There's like a tip jar, and this one person's like, pretty cool.
I keep going because money showed up in the thing.
Yeah, if you keep on going, give me a performance check.
I kid you not. A second natural 20.
Let's go. All right.
Wow, I know what kind of show this is gonna turn into.
By the end of your show, as you're showing off all your different moves and kind of like you're just training, but it's so exotic as a warrior and you're a Kalishtar here, you end up with 14 gold
You're hot.
by the end of it. With an applause at the end. And you're pretty much the highlight of the night. Everyone's wanting to buy you a drink and talk to
A
you.
lot of women.
Men as well. I mean, they're all like
Men.
soldiers, or talking about
They
your,
wanna
being a
learn.
warrior, things like that. Yeah.
Amazing.
Perfect. Yeah, Mika, you just come down to the gun show and like, okay.
All right.
Near is sitting in a booth talking with a much older man. The guy has like a patchwork on one eye and a little bit of a scar with like a puffy white hair and balding head. But you notice he bandages himself up similarly to Anir as well.
Hmm.
Okay. Why don't you sit down?
Oh,
This is
okay.
my father.
Oh, hello.
Give you his name. This is Quitar Ollie.
You.
Quitar. Quitar. Just kind of puts out his hand and goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you."
Hello.
I was speaking to Meikai earlier of our struggles here in the city, Father. She was curious of our individual involvement.
I mean, when we left, you said that we were more similar than that. And I thought you were hinting at the Kingslayer bit.
In a way, I know what it means to be outcasted and ostracized.
Mm.
And he begins to unwind kind of the bandages on that's like Nier's arm underneath the bracelet there. And when he does, there's a branding of 9 circles.
Council?
It's more outcasts from everything. We were probably why you had some resistance with the guard.
Mhm.
Father had founded the group Luminare.
Mhm.
We had our own academy here. It, in a way, was an intellectual rival to Strumith Academy, but slowly the council here became purely of the upper echelon class, and it became quite clear of the oppression and division started in the city. There was no moving amongst them. So my father started the Luminaries. Fight that.
Mhm.
Many of us here are actually from the desert. We relocated after the dwarves started the war. So we're seen as also as outsiders and different from everyone here. Color of our skin, cultural differences. There was a bit of a fight for territory, fight for rights, fight for a voice to be heard.
Mhm.
My father and I were made examples of.
Sorry.
Fine. Hence, I think why they stack the trials against me. I don't think they want me anywhere close.
Yeah. People in power can hold things over you, and it's not fair.
Why I always understood where you came from.
The king. There was other representatives that were supposed to be sent from Hanazuka. They were all dead. all killed on the way, and then the king tracked me down somehow and told me that I was going to go and hoped that my fate would be the same. And that if I survived, I would go and work for him and be probably just put on display, made an example of. So I get it.
You not
My
to
hair
wonder
and
why?
Hmm?
Do you not know the reasons for the deaths?
No, that's a mystery. I don't. It could be,
Like someone trying to target you.
yeah. I mean, just like we were targeted on the road, just like we were targeted at the Centaurium. They're different groups, but who knows? That is one of the mysteries. The silvering is a magical ritual. It can't be undone, although the dean did temporarily release it for a few seconds.
Nothing's impossible. Or with enough study, maybe someone here could help you reverse the effects.
Maybe. But because of it, it's seen as my branding. I can't dye my hair or anything like that. So.
Branding is pretty key. He kind of starts wrapping up.
Yeah.
Luckily, no one is on the council that did our branding. But sounds like you still have issues with the king.
Hanasuka has issues. I wanted to talk to you about them. They're only pertaining to me, but I talked to you about my parents coming in, transporting. They came out of nowhere.
Did your parents did? Yeah, you just spoke of. You'd asked me
Yeah.
teleportation.
They were my parents, or my parents. I was just minding my own business, wishing that they were there, and then they were there, and they were aged magically or something. They said that Hanasuka's covered in darkness, and it's worse the closer you get to the palace. And I wanted to know what sort of magics and weird things might cause that situation. There's a lot.
A lot. I haven't heard any news like that. So
It only recently started.
I'm gonna say there has been notice that there haven't been any merchant ships returning from
in a few months.
Asuka. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they have lost a few ships. They decided not to send any. Not sure what the council is doing on it, but have you been there?
No, that's just what my parents said. My parents are not that old. They had me young. They look older.
Dude, I'm sorry, it's again nothing that I'm directly studied on.
Mm-hmm. But maybe we can find access and read some materials or something?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can give you access to the library. The library at the academy would be much more useful, I think. Maybe you help me with the trials on the council. And that could be another thing the council could help.
Yeah.
Maybe finding a striker that deals more in that specific magic.
Mm-hmm.
Not even sure what kind of magic that would be. Weather? Aging? Time?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have very limited knowledge about the arcane. Tieflings innately have a little bit of magic, but it's not, unless you study it, it's not really there. So, and then obviously the magic.
Yeah. Well, if anyone's going to get to the heart of that, I assume a chosen would be the right person for the job.
Yeah.
Do you plan on what's the word? Heading to that, confronting it.
Eventually.
I have to say, it's kind of hard to study something from afar or near.
I really wanted to say that, but I didn't want to say it as Meikai.
It's a joke. I heard of all.
You're being a dear.
That's a new one.
I'm so sorry. No, but I just thought I would. I'm so sorry, Zach. I just thought, I mean, you're the most magically
I'll be
tuned
honest,
in person that I know.
most of my magic is very combat oriented, fire,
Yeah,
offensive.
just, yeah. I mean,
But I can
You're-
try. I mean, I can try and speak with you on that and get you the right connection.
yeah. I think Zach might also enjoy studying and that sort of stuff, but I think that we do need to see where his siblings are. And I am extremely curious why somebody from my home country is here. I worry that either it's someone who's going to kill me, or it's a messenger with something bad. I don't know.
As a messenger, I feel like they would probably come right up to you, don't you think?
True. I was thinking like a messenger of death, but yeah, that's true.
So related to the first one of wanting to kill you.
Yeah, I didn't think about say that.
You're a
Spend
very
day.
dark person, Meikai. I've started to realize that.
Had a lot of dark things happen to me. I have nightmares every single night, increasingly with Car and June and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's just constant, and I apologize.
As you guys are sitting there, Qatari is just like, I'm gonna let you guys talk. Hey, how's it going, Joshua? And just kind of gets up to leave the table. No, yeah, he definitely continues to speak with you on that. We'll jump over to
Yeah.
Zachary and Anais, but we can come back if you want to follow up with anything more. You guys kind of continue to have, a lovely conversation, kind of going over your histories and kind of things that you're both struggling with, and able to actually have like a connection person to person while you're talking.
It's not a noodle date, guys.
Well,
Sure.
noodles was on the menu. You can.
Sure thing.
Perfect.
Taking
As
a solo one.
Yeah, as you guys were talking, and as Kahu was wrapping up his show, Zachary, you're able to dip out from the crowd as everyone's cheering him on, and Ice, you go with him. Where do you guys want to go?
First thing, I want to start heading towards that dwarven shop thing.
Okay.
Try to get there before it closes. So.
Sure. Yeah. You guys are able to go down a couple blocks. You saw it was off the mainstay. And you're able to see as you head up to Lodamore's Arcanum. Let me put that in the chat. Excited about this one. Lodamore's Arcanum. It does look like it's getting closer to closing time. You see kind of an older man with kind of glasses on the edge here and kind of like robes going up to, like taking a few signs down, and looks like he's probably getting ready to close up.
Human?
Human, yeah.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. Are you still open for a little bit?
Oh, so hi there, kid. Hello. But of course, are you planning to look or anything, buy anything? Are you window shopping? That's my question.
I believe I may have some things that you'd be interested in. If you want to step inside and discuss them.
Really? You see a little cast of detect magic. He goes, "Oh, you're not kidding. Wow. Come on in. We're still open. Come on. Just want to make sure you won't wasting my time." He kind of like pushes you guys in and locks the door behind you and puts up the closed sign. Cast his hand real quick, and all of the light gems here kind of glow up brighter again. as he was like kind of like starting to fade them. And as you look around, this place is filled just with scrolls and potions and different magical items that are on display. And in the back, you can see a large kind of like shelving of different things that are wrapped up and look like they're either saved for someone or kind of waiting for appraisal. But he kind of takes you back and kind of puts up like a wooden counter and puts it back down and then goes, well, then, I am Lodamar, and pleasure to make your acquaintance. How can I help you?
Zachary.
Zachary, yes. And
This
lady?
is my friend, Anais.
Anais. That is different dialect than here. It's good to meet you. Pleasure. So.
But yes, I saw on your window you were interested in dwarven goods.
Yes, I am quite excited about anything dwarven culture. Do you have something of sorts, or I do have different trinkets or recovered items that have been sold at auction from the Inquisitors, if you're interested in looking at.
Well, not sure if this would be of interest to you, but I'll pull out the statue of the king first and put that on the...
This is exquisite. Again, you see him swing over like a magnifying glass, has like different like levels to it, but they're different shades of glass. And Zachary, you can notice a bit of arcane magic in each one as he's like going through this and studying it. Doesn't seem to be magical, right? I don't think.
Yeah, this isn't magical.
I don't know. It's a quite exquisite condition, boy. Where'd you find this?
Oh, just traveling around, you find some cool things.
Oh. Of course. Well, you looking to sell or just get information on it?
Well, sell or trade.
Oh, I'm sure we can make an arrangement. It's trade. I'd give a little bit more of a credit for you if you wish. Gold, I could make an offer as well. Is anything else there? Did I give you prices on that when I did?
No. I got no prices for that.
Let me get back to my notes.
But what even makes this statue better is it comes with a pair, and I'll pull out the Daloy statue and put it right next to it.
Oh, well then. Oh boy, you are hiding out on me. I see.
And I was just watching this whole thing with like amusement, like, ooh. He's doing his job.
This is quite amazing. This is very fascinating. For steelish finds that you have are in mint condition. It's almost as if they were closed off from time or something. No, all right. Yeah. Anything else that you have found, or are these just these two?
Dwarven currency. What would you say like an exchange would be for that?
You see him get very close. Are you saying you have dwarven gold?
I may have some.
Quite a rare find, if you would. If you have some, I'd be willing to make quite the offer. 3 times the going rate of regular gold.
That's quite a lot.
Boy, I'm quite interested in that sale.
That's about to
make it rain.
Do you have a lot of dwarven gold that you've collected over time?
I have none. That's why I'm very interested in it. Would be something my collection is quite needing. Arcane... Dwarven gold is known to have arcane natures in it. The studies have said it's straight from Deloy's mines itself. I don't know some of the superstitions, but there's higher study on the gold and the purity of it from our own currency.
Yes.
Well, of course, you seem to be quite aware already of dwarven artifacts. Are you from the academy? Kind of like giving you like a look over. You don't feel like he's able to pick up on like the ASMR. You're not even sure how well he can focus right now. Anyway, but
I've traveled to many places to learn about magics. I feel like it's good to learn from others and see what different cultures have to offer.
I quite agree. I think that's great academic pursuit. I like to stay in the city, personally.
Well, you're running a great shop here, so you have a lot of purpose here.
My boy, you were saying the right words. Is this? Are you together? Is this? You are very lucky to have him.
Boink, boink.
Bling 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 bling.
But I'll pull into the pouch, and I will pull out 50 dwarven gold, put it on the table.
His eyes just. Yeah, he's like kind of goes over and comes up with like an old scale and kind of like bringing it on there, and very, very fascinated by it.
So this is something you've not seen much of, right?
Not here, not in Vanali at least. No. There's been a few times and a few traders. Eliavis has his own hands on dwarven artifacts here in the city, but I'm going to rival him one day. Yes, I will. You aren't, buyers at Malavis's store, are you?
I've never bought at a store in this city yet.
Ah, you are first time. Welcome to Lodamar's.
But yeah, you were
He's very
speaking
proud
of
to love
trade.
this place. I would be more than happy to make you an offer of 150 gold, direct trade for this, or 200 if you want credit. For the pair, these are exquisite. I would offer you 400 gold for the pair, or 500 trade.
I'd be looking around at the store, like what sort of stuff is on display right now. Does it look like we'd want trade here?
What are you specifically looking at? You have potions, gems, magic items.
Magic items, and also, is there anything that can disguise us for a certain funeral?
Give me an investigation check and a d20 roll.
Oof. Nice with the low rolls this session.
Roro.
8 for the investigation. Shoot. Then I lost my d20, so.
In a moment, Zach is also going to take a look around too,
Okay.
just to see what he can find.
Okay, I guess we're moving on to a different d20. I don't know where that is right now.
Lost it. It's
That's
gone.
a 1.
Yeah, it's gone. Oh my gosh, and I can't. And all this stuff is behind my laptop.
Oh no.
Okay, here we go.
Quality content here on Fates United.
I even sing for you guys.
Da 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 da.
I got a 9 on the d20 roll.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nice. You look around. You're trying to like look through these items. None of them really have descriptors on them except like a code, like some sort of like a filing system code on it. It sounds like he has a lot of it in his mind or in a book. But you come across a javelin that looks like it has a bit of a design on it, and as you get close to it and kind of reach out to touch it, your own lightning abilities kind of zap to it, and you can see an electricity bolt head down the javelin.
Would I
lightning?
Like guess? Yeah, that it like almost is also. It's almost like a continuing current, like that's lightning too.
Yeah, you feel like the lightning is not sourced from you. It's just you're arcing to the lightning in the magic item.
Okay. Yeah,
But-
probably like, jump back a little bit.
Yeah.
While Zach's like, just like.
Please don't touch anything with Please don't touch anything without assistance. You could get hurt in here. Oh dear. Oh boy. Unfortunately, you don't find anything, or at least if you did find anything, you couldn't recognize it as something helpful for disguise, unfortunately.
So I will say, like, I will look for things potentially for trade as well.
Sure.
See what I can find.
Of course, definitely. Give me investigation.
I signed to Zach. I didn't touch that thing. It just zapped me. It has lightning in it. I don't know if I should tell him.
My investigation is a 17.
17, nice. Yeah, you're able to find a plethora of different scrolls on demand here. Mainly the ones you find here at this store are Potion of Healings, Poison, Invisibility, Mind Reading, Heroism, Resistance, and Speed. You find gems of elementals that are on sale here. The ones that are like kind of from Vanali. They're fire, light, water, earth, and air here. And then you come across one of the few items that like really grab your attention is like on one of the top shelves. It's a golden ocarina that is extremely well designed. And then you kind of come across a few different items here as well. I'll send you guys the menu, of course.
Okay.
Of this place. Most of these could also be found other places, and if there are specific magic items you're looking for, we can kind of do investigation checks at other stores as well. But these are kind of like the main finds here in Vanali, especially with that investigation check.
I mean,
I put it in
go
the
ahead.
face.
Send that, and you can jump to someone else while I peruse this.
Sure.
We don't take
Can
up
I
too much
ask
time.
him while he's looking? Can I ask the shopkeeper, like, write on a thing really fast? Before
Yeah,
we
of
can-
course.
Can I just write down, like, do you have anything that can change appearances? And I like slide like the notebook over across the counter to him.
Wondrous. Uncommon. Okay. That would be all right. Yeah. So readings. Oh well. Let's see. Sort of a disguise. That's okay. Like folding through the book. There are different artifacts that do allow for disguising sorts of things. Mainly bracelets or hats of disguise self. I do have a few on sale here. That they'd be in the about 350 range. I think. Hold on. I have a system for these magic items. I'm trying to and compare it real quick. Yeah, be about 300 each. What he tells you.
She just writes, "That's good to remember. Thank you very much."
Window shopper. Fantastic. And just kind of slides it back to you. And then kind of looks over. Zachary, was it? Do you need any assistance? And seems to be giving much more attention to the one that has gold and items for trade. But yeah, we'll jump back real quick as you guys are doing that. Kahu. As you are talking to everybody and being the popular one in town, is there anything specific you wanted to do or discuss? You are kind of similar to like Rosewood when you're in the tavern. You're kind of the go-to
I'm
person.
seeing. I kind of want to see if anybody knows of a place where you can like have a chance to talk with or learn stuff about blacksmithing and or sexton's cartography stuff.
Nice. Yeah, there is, they kind of give you connections. They all seem to be within, and they speak of like how the Luminaries look out for each other. So they're giving you Luminare contacts versus like others in the city. But as they do, they speak of the Rock's Bottom not tavern, but blacksmith that would be able to works in more exotic wares and exotic stones and things like that. That is ran by Banner. And then there is a cartographer that he speaks to, saying he's not sure if she is here in town, but it's ran by Heather Daniel. He seems person you're talking to explains that she is mainly a traveler that goes out of, you know, around the country and draws maps and cartography to bring back, kind of like still of unexplored areas and things like that.
Okay.
Kind of a scissory character.
How late do places usually stay open around here?
About sunset, about now. If you hurry now, you might be able to go somewhere. Or you try in the morning.
Most places open first thing.
Yeah, sunrise to sunset, basically. Kind of a common practice throughout the land too.
Right.
So you do find around here, there are a few that seem to be lit by those gems. So you might find some places that stay open as it gets a little darker. But are you heading out now, or you thinking about waiting?
I'd wait because I have no idea where Zach and Anais went, and Makai is over there having conversation, and I'm in a very big city for the first time in my life, and I'd rather stick to where I know people can find me.
Yeah, that's fair. Give me a just a general persuasion check, why don't you? Get you to roll.
Not great. 7.
I thought you're good at charisma, man.
I have a +4 to persuasion. It's not huge.
Sorry. Yeah, pretty good. It's not bad. Yeah. You just kind of get like general kind of sense of the city as they discuss, and kind of your they want, you know, get you to get different stories of, you know, Fusuaga and where you come from, and they, you know, get kind of a general lay of the land here, but there's really nothing else that kind of gets brought up in conversation. Perfect. Makai, is there anything else when you're talking to Anir that you wanted to discuss with him? If you guys kind of continue just with small talk, you might even just, you know, bring over Kahu for you guys to kind of generally catch up and small talk and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of it. I'm not going to catch him up on what everything we've been doing, just again keeping we've been traveling, and that's it. Like, no other information. I was fine saying the Hanasuka stuff because that's
your stuff. Yeah,
has nothing to do with anything. Yeah.
It's more like they kind of began to reminisce about the time at the Centaurium and different stories, and just kind of that general like building up that rapport again.
Yeah. Did he get to know Carr pretty well?
Yeah, if you remember, him and Carr actually got pretty close before they kind of split teams, and then like him, Carr, and Alana were actually a tight group.
Yeah, so we'll probably just reminisce about that stuff, I guess.
Kind of pours a drink for him.
Yep.
Cool. All right, we'll jump back in as Zachary is wide-eyed going through his menus and stuff.
Well, one thing is I'll ask what the Golden Ocarina is.
Oh, well, that's just my pride and joy, my dear. The Golden Ocarina. Should be able to find it in D&D Beyond as well, but I think, or maybe I changed it. Actually, I think it did. It was I think it's one of the Bard instruments. Find it again. So it's a very rare and arcane bardic instrument. So if you look up instrument of the bards, it's essentially the same thing. So there are different types, and mainly, let's see, a creature that attempts to play the instrument without being attuned to it must succeed on a DC Wisdom saving throw, take psychic damage. You have to attune to it. You use an action to play the instrument and cast one of its spells. There's a lot to it, but it has like this one in particular is closest to the Alum Harp. It's a very rare item. So Confusion, Control Weather, Firestorm.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be Instrument of the Bards and be the highest one on there would be the Golden Ocarina that you see.
All right.
One of those like early game items that you see that's a really lot of money. Like, I'm coming back for that. You see it
It is
listed at
expensive.
109,000 gold.
Yeah, that's way over my price right now.
Yeah, he seems really excited when you bring it up. You're like, well, I mean, if you were, I'd be more than happy to part with it with a little bit of a discount to you.
I mean, you see what I brought before you, though. I don't know if that would suffice for it.
You see a slight disappointment. Oh, that's what you're dealing with. I see. Maybe you shouldn't be in this section. And he kind of brings you back towards the other side. It's more like the Air of an Entanglement and Ring of Featherfall. By this point in Ice, you do see the Quiver of Holding and the Archer Bracers. Things like that that might be of interest to you.
Anais actually will sign to Zach as he's looking, and she says, he said that there's items for disguising selves, like a bracelet or something that you'd wear. He'd sell them for 300 gold. It might be good to consider in the future, especially if we're going to be going places that they might not like us very much. Something to think about.
Do they last? How long do they last?
You should ask him. I didn't ask him.
Yeah, I'm asking out loud. How long do they last? The disguise bracelets.
I think it depends on what level you cast it at.
Well, it's an item, so it's
1 hour.
Oh, okay.
okay.
But it's at will, so I mean you can keep it going.
Oh, there's no charges?
How many charges does it
While
have
wearing
to
this
go?
hat, you can use an action to cast a disguise spell from it at will. Spell ends if the hat is removed.
Oh.
Oh, right. Actually, yeah, you're right, because there's an NPC in a game I was doing, and I think he would just leave to go recast it, and you could just keep doing that.
Oh, I need to go to the
Okay.
bathroom again.
Yeah, wow.
Okay. That is intriguing.
Look at that squirrel. Yeah.
Exactly.
So those are 300 each?
I think Ford had it in Critical Role. Yes, 300 each.
Okay.
You wouldn't need one for me, because I can just do it.
Well, this would save you a slot.
Oh,
It's an ability.
true.
Shopping episode.
It's great.
I love shopping episodes.
Zach is coping with his sadness and stress by shopping right now.
Well, this may be a good day of business for you, Lodamore.
Be more than happy to make any sort of arrangement. Or if you are looking to create a relationship, if you are going to bring me more dwarven, I might be able to do some sort of line of credit if need be. Seems to
That
be
is-
really trying to smoosh you over to try and get more dwarf stuff out of you.
Yeah, that would be something that would be good to think about.
Lodamore's
so-
be on the map over Malachar.
If we were to trade what I have presented, how many of those bracelets would you be willing to provide?
Let's see. So you guys are at essentially 750 worth of gold for trade, right?
But 50 Dwarven gold, and then the 2 statues.
Which is 150 at trade, or 200 at trade, because he says he's willing to give you 3 times regular gold for it.
Okay, so you go 4 times for trade?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you're at like I did my math wrong. 700. 650.
Okay.
Yeah. If the promise for exclusivity to work with just me and not that skiving Manacor, then I think I could make a trade for 3 of those for all these items. I like you.
Well, thank you.
You will have to sign the contracts not to shop at my brother's store. I'm going to beat him.
Brother.
The big brother rivalry going on.
Well, what if you threw in a 4th one and I put 50 more gold on the table and I bring it out?
Persuasion check.
All right. Let's go, Zach. This is your moment. That is a 24.
Because you're looking at 1,200. He's giving you a 500 gold discount, essentially. Buy 3, get 1 free.
Zach pushing his luck.
You could make that 150 gold and sign the contract tonight. I'll make a deal. You're raking me over the stonework here. You're getting quite the deal.
150 gold?
Basically, he's asking you to add 150 more gold to the deal to bring that up to 200 extra. So only 300 gold discount. And then he wants you to sign the contract.
So give him 150 dwarven gold or 150
Just more
on top
gold,
of
regular.
100?
Yeah, just regular gold.
Okay.
Because you put forward another 50 gold. So with that persuasion, he's willing to give you still more of a discount.
Or did
but
he 50 dwarven gold or 50 gold? That's
Yeah,
probably a good.
I thought you meant just
clarify.
regular gold. Do you mean dwarven gold?
No, that's dwarven gold.
Gotcha.
50 dwarven gold.
So that was
on
100.
the table.
So essentially another 200. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Then he just says, "You're quite the negotiator. Sign the contract tonight. I'll make the deal. And you tell everyone about my shop, Lodimor's. I need branding. I need to be out there advertising my place."
Yeah. I mean, I will be willing to come back here and purchase more.
All right.
If I find more dwarven goods, that would be...
He goes back and
For sure.
he finds this scroll that he has that has his branding on it, and he comes back. He's like, "All right, 2 of you sign it. Make a deal."
You okay signing this?
Frog's like, yes.
She
I will
signs.
read
Is
it
that
to make
Is this
sure.
a good idea?
To make sure there's nothing weird in it.
Sure, give me investigation.
Can I also roll and
Sure.
to read it? We're both just like scanning the whole
This
thing.
is like Shaw in disguise. You'll see a little spark of magic after you sign it.
Oh no!
Yeah, I get you back.
19.
I can read this time.
I got a 19.
19. Most
I
of it
also
is
got
just
a 19.
it's
Or
like
I got 20 actually.
legal
Nice.
jargon of you'll be prosecuted to the highest effect if you shop at Malacor's or undercut my prices here. It's a lot of fluff. That's really what it seems like. It doesn't even seem arcane in nature. I will
Alright.
know. I will know. You go to my brother's shop.
Yes, I mean, well, you wouldn't use this to turn it against us, though, and be
Oh,
like,
no, of
well,
course
I just raised my
not.
prices
I mean-
200%, so...
It's just precaution. I mean, I am giving you quite the discount.
I know, you're coming into possession of 100 dwarven gold with this, and 2
Quite
fine
exciting.
statues, so... I'll
And
sign
I am helping you hide whatever you guys need to hide. It's just joking.
Nice.
So I will sign it and hand over the items.
Zachary lights up in fire. No, just kidding.
Dang it!
Perfect. Yep. So he kind of takes everything back and kind of puts it back on a back table for examination later and things like that. And goes to a back room and you kind of hear a few things knock over. You go, "Oh, dang it, not many." Moving a few boxes, and then he comes back up with 4 boxes, kind of just labeled with different letters and numbers on it, and Each one has there's one bracelet, 2 hats, and the third one. What I wanted to be. I was gonna say a scarf. Yeah, we'll go with scarf.
So you said
Fourth
one
one's a scarf.
bracelet.
2 hats of disguise and 1 scarf of disguise. Like not like your scarf. This is more of like a wintry sort of
Yeah,
a woolen one almost.
I call the bracelet.
Anaya signs, I call the scarf. The other two can have the hat.
Scarf.
Yeah.
She's
Can the
scarf
hat
girl.
have
She has so
holes in
many
it? Is
scarves.
that gonna ruin it?
Yeah, you can make it work.
A floppy one that will just like fold around it.
Yeah, there you go.
And these are not attunement, right? So
Yeah, I don't believe that. No.
What do the hats look like? Is it like a big like samurai Ronin hat, or what are we
Mhm.
talking about?
I'll say these hats are slightly
I could see
enchanted.
Kahu wearing the big Ronin
I
hat.
could see that. That'd be dope. These are enchanted to change to your own style. As being a hats of disguise, they will change to what appearance you wish them to be.
Mine's a big Ronin hat then.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is there anything more I could assist you all with?
did you see anything else, Anais, that you thought you would like?
Anaya just shakes her head and she signs, I mean, it's probably better if we save the strip.
Zachary, you do
Well-
notice the bracers of archery, an arrow of entanglement specifically that could potentially help an archer.
Yeah. Bracers of archery. Where's that? Oh, that's
I
expensive.
know, I'm looking that up too. I don't know what that even does.
I think it's a
That's
+2,
expensive.
isn't it?
Do more
Yeah.
damage when you shoot
So, like they're
things.
really good for.
Wow,
Archer.
holy crap.
Yeah, that was the one I put in for you.
Nice.
But I figured you might be able to work up towards it. I put in the javelin of lightning for Kahu for sure.
Nice.
There's also quiver of holding too. That one's pretty cool. I think prayer bead was something I put in for Zachary and the golden ocarina. Got the holy avenger in there as well.
Yeah. Trima first getting anytime soon. I will ask, do you have any scrolls of like a group healing?
Group healing. Oof. Which spell would specifically be looking?
I mean, it could be like greater healing word or something like that. Greater cure wounds. I think it's higher spell, but
Like mass healing word?
Mass
Doing
healing
words at
word.
first level.
That'd be 3rd level. Give me investigation. See if he has it here.
19, I believe. Let me double check my bonus. Yeah, 19.
Nice. Yeah, as he's like going through the book, he comes to one and he says, I do actually. I have 2 mass healing word spell slots of 300 each.
300 each.
They're 3rd level spells.
I see.
Or I do have potions of healing, of course.
Yeah.
Anaya signs, if we need to bribe people, we might want to save money that way too. For now, at least. I don't know who's going to be willing to talk.
You should listen to her. Buy the scrolls. He has no clue what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's being a salesman for sure.
How much do we have left?
What about this?
I can't tell if Mark loves being in this position or if Zachary loves being in this position. Of
I feel like Zach is stress shopping. Like, that's what I'm feeling right now.
I have
Amara.
another part of 50 gold, dwarven gold,
How much more? You have 50 more?
50 dwarven gold that I can give you.
You are holding out on me, boy. Right to
But
salesman.
I can add to that to your collection and give you 111 dwarven silver, and we say one of those scrolls for it.
The 50 turning to 200, and then 111 dwarven silver. Try and get one of the scrolls.
Yeah.
Deal.
All right. I will take that.
He loves the idea of silver. Yeah.
So there's the silver gone from my bag. Still got plenty of dwarven gold though.
He wants
Now he's
it.
just sort of sitting there like, because like she kept asking him questions, he's like not answering her and just bartering, so she's just
That's what
looking a
I'm
little
saying, dude.
annoyed right now, like just like sitting there
What?
like.
Keep on looking into the bag, like, what else does he have in there?
Okay, so that's a scroll of mass healing word. Okay, perfect. Well, it's been great doing business with you, Littlemore.
Of course, I mean, if you know of more trades, no one's going to give you better prices than me, and not
Well,
many
I'm
people
sure
even
we
want
will see
dwarven
you
stuff.
again, so.
Of course, I guess. You around.
Thank you.
I'm like, gonna usher you all out and quickly lock the door behind you, kind of lower the lights again. He's hungry. He's ready to
And
go.
I will. Sorry, Nice. I was just doing math in my head. I still got some gold left, but I'm just holding on to that for now, I guess.
How much?
I have 126 more pieces of dwarven gold.
So if he,
I tried to play it slow to give us a better deal, you know.
I mean, you did great in there. I was just, yeah, that's good. I mean, we got all this now. We can even go to the funeral if they need to, and this will be good for traveling. Do you always shop like that?
I mean, you gotta try to get good deals on things, right?
Also, oh yeah, true. When did you get those statues?
Oh, you were there. We were in the dwarven ruins.
Oh, I don't remember much of that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, the statues turned out pretty good. I mean, they were just not magical, so I figured why not sell them off. Good collection for that guy.
My dad would have liked him.
So spread some culture.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a prank on Anais or on Kahu and Meikai?
What do you want to do?
You could walk in looking like Meikai, and I'll walk in looking like Kahu.
I was thinking about that earlier.
That would be kind of fun. I would do it.
Okay, let's do it. I'll disguise myself as Kahu.
I look like a Meikai.
People start throwing money at Zach. Dance.
Anais signs, do we act like mad like they're imposters, or do we just stand and stare at them?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we can just kind of walk around like we don't even see them.
Okay.
Give me stealth checks if you're trying to hide from them, or you're just trying to be out in the open in the store.
No, like they see us, but just ignore them.
Okay,
Like,
that's
the
fair.
silence treatment.
Yeah, why don't the other two just give me a perception check? The DC 10. See if you guys are paying attention enough.
18 plus 6.
19.
Yeah, you both are sitting in like the side where you can see the door, and like you're just like mid talk with Anir. You guys are laughing a bit, and then all of a sudden Meikai and Kahu walk in the front door. There's a few like the bartender's like looking between you like this.
Anir, what's in this drink?
That's cider. There's not much in there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'll just kind of motion to a table and go sit down over there.
No, we're gonna go sit down and like wave the bartender over to get drinks.
Yeah, the bartender's just looking at Anir and looking at you guys. He's not even going over to you.
Did anybody else see the handsome man over there?
Is that your friends? That's
It might be.
I mean,
I
I'm
know
almost-
Nias can change, so
I'm almost certain the both of you have said things that only you know, so pretty sure you're you, right?
yes.
Sit at the table and like kind of start flexing.
I'm as me as much as I
Wow.
know.
Hold on.
We do not act.
He
I
point-
don't do that when I'm at a table to eat food. Let's be honest here.
Anir points over and casts a spell. Anais, why don't you give me an Arcana check?
Uh-oh.
I'll let you roll for it.
Please don't dispel the item.
That's probably just detect magic.
17.
17. Whatever disguise they have didn't wear off. Don't know what's happening.
Well,
You guys not care? You guys don't seem to be preoccupied about it. Someone's imposturing as you.
I like start like kind of playing with my hair because I feel like Makai always wants to look good. I don't know if
That's
that's
true.
wrong or not, but I feel like she
Yeah.
might always be like adjusting her clothes or
she
like
kind
just
of
kinda,
is.
like,
She
trying to
always
look good.
does. She's
Like Makai's
Yeah,
doing it
so
like
I
right
just
now
kinda
as she's
start
looking
doing
at you like mhm.
I'm gonna go to the bar and grab a big old plate of food. And I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna
You're the real
place it
Kahu.
in front of the other Kahu. And then I'm gonna start
I
eating
don't
it
see
on my
it.
side.
Hi, Anais.
Just completely zoned out, not focusing on them at all. Like they don't exist.
I'm gonna try messing with Anais though.
Anir's just sitting laughing from his booth, just watching this
Yeah,
interaction.
I know this is normal because I wouldn't stop eating this food as I'm eating it.
I was questioning, is this me or is that me?
Am I the real me? Eat off.
I insight
Nice.
check myself.
Sure, you can try.
Should I do like a performance check for how well I can.
I think it's
Nerdisms.
investigation check against both of your spell DCs. Spell save DC.
18.
You all of a sudden are like looking in, you can see kind of like Zachary's scarf appear underneath the illusion and his hair and things like that.
I just.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Just take his bite.
Yeah, the whole place has gotten like really quiet.
Yeah, Kyle
I
was
mean,
just
you see a
laughing.
few people like grabbing for weapons and like looking at Anir for like what's going on.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'll
Nobody
drop
worry
it once
about
Yeah,
I
I'll
was just
drop
like-
it too.
Yeah.
It just
Are you
kinda,
guys
like,
good?
I'm like-
Oh, yeah, they're just goofing around. It's fine. And everyone just like
Now-
slowly, like the music slowly starts picking back up again.
I'll hand her this like really floppy hat. This is for you. And this is for you. I give it to Meika.
Thank you. I don't know how to wear hats.
Do I need to wear it like Zach?
Yeah, exactly.
Sideways.
This is a hat episode.
We don't need hoods anymore. We've graduated.
Praise the caps.
Anaya signs. They all can do that now. Zach talked to a shop guy and was really good at it.
I felt like it was you because I know that you can do a spell.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
But now you can do it too
Oh,
with the hat
Put the
on.
hat on.
Put the hat on. Try it.
Folks, 2 holes
Now
there.
try it.
yeah. It's just
Destroyed magic item.
The magic
Yeah,
item just like
that's
forms
what I was
around you.
worried
No, the magic item forms
Okay.
around your. It's just like everything else. It forms around
Yeah.
like, what you're wearing.
Put it on.
We're just like looking at them like really expectantly, like eating
I mean, you gonna transform into something?
I was gonna say you guys just put it on. Like, okay.
Yeah, we're
Do
just like
I-
waiting,
do I-
like
I'll just have
Right.
my dark hair. That's the first thing I think of.
Try to look like Ergon or something. Or a Nier.
Yeah, Makai's silver hair goes dark.
Kyle starts doing this, and his beard goes long and white.
There you go.
This is fun.
I mean, you're not touching anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I was noticing that. It feels Like it feels like a beard, and then it just like.
I don't know. My
Okay.
hair feels pretty real.
Phantom beards, trust me, I can miss it.
If
Try to
she's
grow a
signed,
mustache and then touch it. Okay.
Wait, what?
Try to grow
Grow
a
it longer?
mustache and then touch it.
Nice little
not
handlebar
there.
shows up. I think on that note, on the handlebar mustache, we'll go ahead
Wait,
and...
was Anais gonna say something?
oh, she was just gonna give tips on how to do it, but it's
Oh, gotcha.
fine.
Yeah. No, you guys spend the rest of the night making each other look crazy and wild and trying out the disguised hats, things like that.
I like it.
But yeah, we'll pick back up on what you guys decide to do in Vanali. Welcome to the big city. You guys are in New York for the first time. But yeah, no, I'm super excited to see where you guys go. Thank you so much for everyone that joined us. We are back. Hopefully, streaming will continue and be fine as far as the internet, so we'll keep an eye on that. But if you're watching on YouTube or on the VODs, feel free to join us live. We do this every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. We also do the Feywild campaign on Wednesdays at 7:30. And then I join over on Marquee Gaming's channel on Sundays, 3 p.m. CST for Bardicdice, which is super fun. And we have a few things upcoming for the year, so I'm super excited to get into that. To end tonight's game, as we always do, we're going to go ahead and raid. I looked up a fun channel. They just started about 30 minutes ago with their heavy RP game. And they have VTubers with their character art, which looks really cool. So we'll go ahead and raid a Nightmare Nexus and go ahead and say hello to them, send our viewers over. So if you can, send the Bardic Barrage, say hello, give cheers, and introduce yourself. We'll support each other and send all the love that you send to me. And we send the love to everyone else. So go over, say that, and then we'll be back next week, the continuation, Fates United, to get into the mysterious happenings of his family, the trials, and what else Vanali has in store for. All right, see you guys later. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.
I miss playing our characters.
Oops.
I miss